Done, son. Yeah, King Chaka Entertainment. Here we go. If you haven't already, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check us live and become a part of the show on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube Wednesday and Thursday at 11 p.m. and Friday and Saturday at 1 a.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah. While you're playing the game, working out, cleaning, or whatever, check out the more refined audio versions of the show on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, and more. Keyword King Chaka ENT. Yeah. Shouts out to Pat, Doc, Deuce, Curtis, Brendan, Elliott, Juanita, Jay Lethal, Tariq, my Twitch follower, Francisco, and others for always supporting the channel. Yeah. Race, spirituality, politics. Let's talk about it. We generate interest into what has happened and what is happening in our world. Therefore, creating activists. Let's go. Dale gas, baby. Hey.
Dime qué tú quieres, papi.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? KCE, King Chaka. It is what it is, baby. You really not feeling me? Let me find out. Yo, question my ability. Let me find out. Invest in my enemy. Let me find out. There ain't no telling what you finna see. You finna find out. It's something that enters me. You finna find out. Then exit with energy. You finna find out. Riding flows like centipede. You finna find out. Screw those that's kidding me. Let me find out. Get the big lips. I'ma call you Bill Bellamy. When you talk your shit, man, really it's killing me. Hit you with my fist and I'ma do it lyrically. Crazy ass brick, so I might do it literally. I'ma do this till I'm old eating celery. How old is Jay-Z? He gotta be 70. Come to my show or I'ma do it bitterly. Or it's a porn star with a bitch named Beverly. Keep waiting tables, yeah. Spicy means peppery. Or get tattoos and work in the factory. Whatever I do, I'ma do it happily. I'm tired of these rappers too, they do it tackily. That's why I'm here, I'm the shit this year. We gon' keep it moving, grooving, give you something you can feel. When shit's fucked up, gon' drop a tear. I'ma pull my pants up, grab another beer. Rap's messed up and I don't have no fear. Attack the chest up, it's a grown man in here. Ask you little chaps, what have you done in the field? Throw your steps up, let them know you're still here. I said you really not feeling me, let me find out. Yo, question my ability, let me find out. Yo, invest in my enemy, let me find out. Ain't no telling what you finna see, you finna find out. Yo, you really not feeling me, let me find out. Yo, question my ability, let me find out. Yo, invest in my enemy, let me find out. Ain't no telling what you finna see, you finna find out. Yeah, bounce, rock, shake, wiggle. We gon' come through and put it in the middle. They calls me fiddler cause I play the fiddle. Checking masters, white pipes, I's a good nigga. Bounce, rock, shake, wiggle. We gon' come through and put it in the middle. They calls me fiddler cause I play the fiddle. Checking masters, white pipes, I's a good nigga. I said you really not feeling me, let me find out. Yo, question my ability, let me find out. Yo, invest in my enemy, yo, let me find out.
Dime qué tú quieres, papi. ¿Quieres que lo mueva para ti? Mueve, mueve. ¿Te gusta cuando me muevo así? Así. Mueve, muevo, mueve.
Hey, you, we up in the place. We up in the place. We up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake. Make your body shake. Make your body shake. Hey, you, we up in the place. We up in the place. We up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake. Make your body shake. Make your body shake. Hop, hop, jump, skip up on the floor. If they didn't know, then we gon' let them know. Drop low, giving them a show. We gon' give them something that they never seen before. Hop, scotch, 784. Bouncing on the beat while keeping the flow. Stop, watch, freeze and go. Cock-a-doodle-doo is what you eating off the floor. Pop, lock, do it by yourself. You know you the best, you don't need nobody else. Rock, hip, toast to success. You was born a winner, so you never nothing less. Hey, you, we up in the place. We up in the place. We up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake. Make your body shake. Make your body shake. Hey, you, we up in the place. We up in the place. We up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake. Make your body shake. Make your body shake. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, wiggle. When we come through, make you move just a little. Clap, clap, snap, do it from the hip. You can do this whether you stand or sit. Pump, fist, do it with your wrist. Pump it back and forth like you tryna catch a fish. Hip, twist, do a finger kiss. Rocking back and forth as you make your body shift. Top, tick, do it like you sick. 2 + 4 is 6 and that's a arithmetic. Top, 6, we gon' let it rip. We got your attention and we not gon' let it slip. So hands up, move your head and know what's up. Now it's shoulders rolling while you showing them your stuff. Hey, you, we up in the place. We up in the place. We up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake. Make your body shake. Make your body shake. Hey, you, we up in the place. We up in the place. We up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake. Make your body shake. Make your body shake. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Make you move just a little, 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 just a little.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? Remember, we want you to be an activist. And don't take my word for it. Look that shit the fuck up. All praises due to the Most High. It's a real struggle, y'all. It's a real struggle out there. Why does it look like that? It's a real struggle out there, man. The weather's crazy. I got caught in that shit. And I'm happy that I made it home with my car not fucked up. So, and that's why I'm coming on so late. So I apologize for that. But hey, I had a freaking life or death experience just now. There was so many cars stuck. So many tow truck drivers towing cars. People walking. It was crazy. You know, it's like a lot of things in life. A lot of times you just gotta, be still. Be still for a few minutes, whatever the hell, wherever the hell, whatever the hell, it could wait for a few minutes, And that's what I did. And shit, I'm old now, When I was younger, maybe I wouldn't have been as patient as I was tonight. And maybe my car would be fucked up and I'd be walking in the rain right now. Who knows? Who knows? Well, somebody said knowledge and wisdom is not the same thing, And yeah, so I'm thankful is what I'm saying. All praise is due to the Most High. We don't have power over the weather, right? Y'all can say that shit about CERN or whatever the hell, nigga. Get the fuck out of here, bro. When the sun comes up and shines on your ass, beaming on your ass, you don't have no control over that. When that snow comes down and blankets the whole fucking city, bitch, you don't have no control over that. Anyways, I'm here. I'm here for y'all, and I also try to keep my word, I try to be a man of my word. And, I got a schedule that I try to keep with this show. And hell, and brimstone can't keep me away from it. So I'm here with y'all. My stomach is all fucked up. I've been eating terribly for at least, I don't know, maybe it's just been a couple days, but it seems like it's been a week. I've been eating terribly and it's been caught up with me. It's probably only been a couple days. My brain, it's probably only been a couple days, but in my brain, I feel like it's been a week that I've been just eating terribly and the shit has caught up with me. So my stomach is all fucked up. It's super sensitive. I have to be really careful with what I eat. I think everyone has to be careful what they eat. You have to be careful. Anyways, I don't think I did the invite. Oh shit, let me do that. I'm all out of whack, y'all. Here we go. There goes the link. Oh shit. There goes the link, y'all. Click the link. The link. Damn, I'm all fucked up. I can't spell. I can't type. Anyways, click the link to join. That's it right there, y'all. So anybody want to come talk to me? I'll be on for a little while. Oh, we got one. Pat.
Yo.
What's up, man?
What's the deal?
How you feel?
Feel pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Shit, I can't complain. Like I say, man, all praise due to the Most High. I freaking feel y'all now because y'all was talking about because Deuce was in the weather the other day, and I think it was last week you was in the weather. The weather was on my ass today. It was just rain though.
Yeah.
We had tornado warnings and shit. But you know how it do when we get a lot of water at one time, it always, I'm on the southwest side of Houston.
I was just about to say that, especially on the southwest side.
Yeah. So yeah, I pulled over at Chick-fil-A and I hung out there for about an hour. And that was the best decision I could have made, I think. My car is good. I'm good. I'm home. I didn't get stuck.
That's the part that matters.
So that's why I'm late.
We know what it could have been.
Hell yeah, it could have been a whole thing. It kind of was a thing. Just this alone was a thing. Shit. I saw a bunch of shit happening in front of me, and then I was like, okay, Chaka, you need to make a decision. About 4 cars did exactly the same thing at the same time that I did it. Like 4 of us all pulled into the Chick-fil-A parking lot. I was like, nah, we need to chill. We need to but I saw a lot of people trying to get around still, and shit. Who knows what happened.
Did you get some chicken?
No. Chick-fil-A been closed.
Oh.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A closed regular hours, and fucking, that's one good thing that's about that company. I got to shout that out since we mentioned them. They're closed on Sunday every week, and it's supposed to be like a religious thing related to the founders, that the people who, the founders of the owners of Chick-fil-A, they're like Christian or whatever. So they're like, they're closed on Sunday. And I think that's a really good thing. A lot of places are not that way. So the thing is that those people know every week that they're going to be off on Sunday. They can plan their life. A lot of people that's at the lower rung of the ladder, can't really, plan their life very well because they don't even know when they're going to work. Their schedule comes out every week or every 2 weeks or whatever the hell. And it's all over the place. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not consistent. So I think that's a really good thing that Chick-fil-A does, even though it sucks a lot of times. Anaya used to eat Chick-fil-A a lot. She still kind of does, but a lot of times we'd be like, let's go to Chick-fil-A. Go to Chick-fil-A, and oh yeah, that's right. It is Sunday. That's right. They're closed on Sundays. Yeah, it hits you when you want to eat some Chick-fil-A, But every time that happens, I think about it and I'm like, yeah, so that's really good for those people. They're all off of work. Everybody who works for Chick-fil-A is off of work. You know what I mean? That's a
Yeah,
good thing. That's a good thing.
yeah.
So
I
how you
mean,
feel, man?
not for me if I'm, only in town on a weekend and my only chance to get me some Chick-fil-A is the day I'm off.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nah,
so
I'm
so
saying.
from your, I get what you mean though, from your point of view, but all of us are like that. We're all like, fuck, it's the fuck. That's like the only company that does that. Like nobody else does that. Not in Texas.
Shit, not anywhere.
Shit. So you're like, you expect most, whatever business, if it's a regular, if it's a food place, you expect it to be open when, under normal business hours, like every day.
Yeah, I. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm really getting away from fast food anyway. Screw them.
Yeah, it's better to just even though I just did a whole ad for Chick-fil-A, it's probably better to just avoid Chick-fil-A. Save your damn money,
Yeah.
you know. And it's not really good for you anyways. I mean, they keep on saying eat more chicken, and then again, it's all fried any damn way. They do have grilled chicken, and they do have good
But
salads
the
there.
grill,
I
the
used to.
grilled chicken is not the best. Like
It
I
it
mean,
tastes terrible. It has no flavor at all. It's like horrible, but I'll eat it. The salads there are good though. The salads are good. I'll say that.
so I've never tried the salads. So
Yeah, they
I
have.
have to.
Yeah, they got some
My next
delicious.
chance,
Yes,
I will try one.
they
Cause
have one with like cranberries and shit in it. It's fucking good.
uh,
Yeah, it's good. It's a good salad. It is. But anyways, what was I gonna say? It's like dried cranberries, you know. I think I'm tripping anyways. Yeah. So man, how you feel today, man?
feel pretty good, man. Shit, no complaints here. Should
You you
I
sound
drunk?
more like there than you was yesterday. Like you sound more like you feel better. Was you feeling kind of sick or something like last week or so? You
Yeah,
sound
bro.
better. What I'm saying is today you sound better, like you feel better. That's what you sound
Well,
like. You feel better.
I hadn't been tested, but I've had some symptoms of COVID. Um, but my son definitely was tested and had COVID, and that's who me and him was together all for Christmas and stuff. So um, I'm pretty sure I had it. So yeah, I was a little weak the past couple days and last week or whatever.
Yeah, but today you sound a lot better.
Yeah, no,
I
man, I ain't gonna lie. I feel a lot better. I feel way better.
That's good, man. That's good to hear, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, fight that fucking shit off. It's like we're in the pandemic of fear. It's the fear pandemic is what we really in.
Well, and that's the biggest problem because like because some people talking about it's, well, see, that's why I want to, to get a shot and this and that. I'm like, look, it's I don't think it's that serious. You know what I'm saying? So, especially if you healthy, you you know you just gotta keep a strong immune system. So
And that's the case for like almost everything. So,
everything,
I mean, it's a real COVID is a real thing.
yeah.
It's just been blown all
Oh,
the
it's
way.
real. It's
It's
real.
just
But
it's just been blown all the way out, and it's been used as a tool to scare the living shit out of everyone.
yeah, and the more you listen to the news, the more you're subject to some bullshit. So I mean, and I'm not, I hate to tell people don't watch the news, but like you got to really be careful how, like, because I mean that's their job. Like their mind is to own your mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
And so, but I say you need to watch the news, but yeah, but watch how you watch it, and just like kind of dissect it. Just don't take it all in. It's kind
yeah,
of like the Bible. Don't It's got good stuff in it, just but don't eat the whole thing, because if you do, you're gonna be poisoned.
yep.
Um. So yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about that a bit, because I was talking about like that nigga, my nigga Jay Lethal, and like he's always on the Yahweh stuff and Most High God stuff. And he thinks that I don't believe, because he asked me one day, do you believe in Jesus? And I said no. So you don't believe in Jesus? No, I don't believe in Jesus. So I think a lot of people don't understand when I say that, what it means. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean I don't believe in God.
Hmm.
There's a difference. I believe that we don't need a middleman. I believe that everybody has a person.
We are the middleman. Like we are Jesus. We are Yahshua, and that's the part that I think a lot of people miss. When because I mean it's not you
I
know
believe in
some
God only. There's no other. There's no other.
no
God,
I
the
no
universe.
God no God you're right.
Yeah.
God is the only person that we should praise and look up to, but we should learn those lessons between whether you're talking about Jesus, Job, Joseph, like all these lessons is put yourself there, and if that play, whatever it is that they have gone through, learn from that. That's the part that I think most people miss out on, and they try to take it too literal. You know what I'm saying? Like
And it's
each lesson is to allow you to learn. So insert insert yourself in any one of those situations when it comes down to, if that's the part that you're learning, uh, you have to put yourself in that situation and do the best that can do for that. But
exactly. I feel like it's so much confusion in there. And that's the reason why, for me, it's better to just avoid like the whole thing, because, like you said, it's different lessons that, you're supposed to learn from each one of those stories. That's the point. And it's not for you to take one of those stories and put it above the other one and make that like the way you live your life. Like the Bible is trying to teach you to how to live, you know what I'm saying, but it's
yeah,
different parts to it. You can't just pull one part of it out and decide that that is it, because you know it's a whole bunch of pages in that book.
a bunch. I mean, it's a book of books, and like the main, because I mean, I've had this conversation so many times. Like my cousin, he's follows the Israel, what is it, Hebrew Israelites or whatever. Which I don't fault him for anything, but it's just like to me, it's like certain things if you take it too far, like you can be an extremist for God. Like you can be too extreme on certain subjects or really in anything. Like the true answer to life is having some balance. That everything that you see in the book is somewhat exaggerated based on the writing styles that was going on during the times of when it was written. So don't go too far. Like you can be an extremist with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to be literal about every word that you hear in this book, like you're harming either yourself or somebody else.
Because like you said, I mean, somebody's point of view, like somebody had to write it. Don't ever forget that. People be like, okay, it was God's words, but hey, somebody had to write that down, bruh. A person wrote that. No
Yes.
matter what the hell, a person wrote it down. So at the very least, you got to put the human error margin for error in that shit. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
So, somebody wrote it. It was from that person's perspective or point of view or whatever. So if there's value in it, somebody found it valuable. That's why I ended up in this book. So it has value. But
Yeah.
but at the same time, you can't just you have to be smart. You know what I mean? You got to read between the lines. Like I always say, though, about
It
people who
always
read the
tell you to
Bible.
have discernment. You have to have proper discernment with anything that you're doing. I mean, shit, even reading the recipe book, you got to have certain discernment.
Because they
You know what
can't
I'm saying?
put everything in the recipe. There's going to be some common sense stuff that's missing out of the recipe because they're going to assume that you know these things.
Exactly.
Something,
Like
man.
yeah, like well, yeah, they're not expecting people to, be idiots, that's actually, operating in this book.
I'm not trying
And
to. I'm
some
not trying to be the butthole in this, but why not?
Why
I'm
not
just
not
what?
asking.
what?
Why not?
Why
It's
not
like,
what?
why not? Why not expect people to be idiots? It's hella easy. I'm not saying
Well,
antagonize them. I'm not saying throw shit at them. But dude, you're dumb until you prove you're smart. That's the easiest goddamn way. Like for real,
well,
for real.
we're talking from the perspective of the Bible. So the Bible was written in
No
a
one
way.
reads the Bible. They need people to tell them.
And that's and
you
that's
should
what.
open the church, Curtis.
Shut up, man. No. But for real, they need people
You
to tell them. No
you
one
would
reads
make a
it.
lot of money. You would make
I
a lot of
read.
money. But
I
but
read
but
it.
but what I always say,
Yeah.
to like super religious people or like even the Israelites or whoever the hell, read some more
Yeah.
books. Read some more
Well,
books.
but
Don't keep
that's
reading that
dude,
same book.
that's my biggest problem with them is that that's the answer to everything. Like, dude, like there's actual recordable things that's been recorded as actuality. Not we don't have to go over something that happened 700 years ago or 1,000 years
And
ago.
speculate
Uh,
and all this shit.
Bro,
yeah,
it's called the Mandela Effect. You damn right. It's called the Mandela Effect.
well,
Dude, I
that's
watched
something
Randy
different.
Moss win a Super Bowl. Randy Moss has never won a Super Bowl. I literally watched this shit on television. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm looking around. But well, I don't have a lot of football fans around me. But it was like I look around. I'm like, hey, anybody else seeing this shit? Like this shit was literally on TV, bro. And I'm like, hold on, bro. No, he didn't win. I lost the fucking bet that year. I lost the bet. I lost the bar tab. That's how I know.
Well,
I had to pay this motherfucker.
I don't really subscribe. The thing is, one thing about me, I'm gonna tell y'all a secret about me. Like, I absolutely do not trust my memory. I do not
Shit.
trust my memories. I don't trust them.
Okay.
It's a thing about me. And so that's the reason why when people ask me about an event or a thing or whatever, I always say I'm not sure. I think it was like this or such and such. Because I've come to the realization that our memories are just not reliable, bro. Even a memory from yesterday or 30 minutes ago.
So let me ask you this question. How do you listen to other people?
What do you mean?
With a
How do you
grain of
listen to other
salt.
people?
With a grain of
Yeah.
salt, because I mean they have the same capability of failure as me.
Mm-hmm. You got to rely on yourself, bro. That's what I'm saying. You got to rely on yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
if
you
I don't,
can't.
but if I don't, I rely the fact that I don't remember.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's fine not to remember.
You just know, you have to understand your mind, your subconscious, there's a lot of shit going on. And you fill
No
in
shit.
your mind in your mind, you fill in the blanks.
Yeah, bro. It's called fucking psychosis.
Yourself. Right. It's a
Yeah.
real thing. It's a real thing. So
No,
yeah, so that's what I mean.
Dude. It is a fucking real thing.
You
Like,
can't trust
Shaka.
your memories.
Do you know how long I've been out here, bro? I've actually fucking bumped into women that asked me, hey, have you ever been diagnosed with something? It's like, oh, You know how I think. I'm like, why in the hell did you ask that? I'm like, hold on, man. What are you asking? Yeah, bro. It goes. Well, for me, it goes right back to systematic shit and the world
What's
we
the
live in, and like,
what's
come on, bro.
what
Because once you get one of those, well, like there are certain people that need help, but then you have fucking people like me that just like, man, hey, did you just say that? Or and this is why I get into so many fucking fights because I hear this shit. I hear this shit, and it's like, dude, you were fucking out of your mind, bro.
what's
I can't
what's
believe you just said the shit.
what's the Bible quote? What's the Bible quote? It's like you believe half of what you hear and none of what you see, or something like that. One of y'all help me. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. How's it go?
Um,
Believe
Uh,
half of what you see and none of what you hear.
something
yes,
like
Pat's got it. Pat's got it. Pat's got it. Yeah.
so-
No, no,
something
no.
like that.
It's none of what you see. It's none of what you see.
None of what you
It's
see.
none of what you see, bro.
That's what I remember.
And half of what you
Because
hear. That's correct.
listen, and think about that, because that
Shit.
line from the Bible stuck with me over all these years. Because it's there to make you think about what you see, and like, okay, so do you believe in what you see? Like, do you believe your eyes? You believe what's happening right
Yeah.
in your eyes?
God
But
damn it, bro.
what do
Shaka, man.
magicians? I'm trying to
Oh,
help everyone.
no.
Listen,
You are helping, dude. I was supposed to go to the damn club. Now I don't feel like going to the damn club no more, bro.
man, I'm
Fuck.
glad you didn't go nowhere, bro. The
That's
weather is
true,
fucked
bro.
up.
That's
But
true.
listen. So believe in what you see. What do magicians do? You know what I'm saying?
They're
They
illusionists.
Yeah, and then they make you believe what you see to be real.
Yeah.
And your eyes are
Yeah.
telling you one thing, but your brain is saying, "Wait, hold on. There's no fucking way."
Yeah,
You're like, nah, that shit ain't happen. That shit is not happening, bro. Like, oh, what just happened? Are you serious? Dude, seriously, man. This
one
is why I
minute
get
you
into
looking at
shit.
some balls and that's supposed to transfer from one hand to the other, and then the next minute your watch is gone. So
So my point on that is, in the real world, how much of what you see is actually what the hell is actually happening? And we always have to remember perspective. I always talk about perspective. So at the very least, we only have one perspective, our two eyes, to perceive what's happening in the world. And you know, another thing that's related to this, you know, I was reading about how many words you know affects how you
Mhm.
like understand the world, because the more words you know, the more you're able to like understand what's happening in the world. You get what I'm
Why do
saying?
you think
Define it.
wait, dude, dude, that's why I mess with people, bro. That's why I
So
mess with
that's
racists. No matter whether you
but
black, white, Mexican, dude, you start hating, dude. You start hating somebody for their color. That's why I do that. I'll start throwing out 3 and 4 syllable words easily, just because I need to know where you are.
because
Like
but listen,
it's
it's about perspective. You can only see so much with your
no,
two
I hear you.
eyes, and you also only have your limited amount of words that you have learned within your lifespan to and with those two things, that's kind of, and then maybe your intuition or whatever, you're feeling your gut, you know what I'm saying, your connection to the universe. With those things, that's all that you have to be able to perceive what's happening in the world. And you have to understand that that's limited. You know what I'm saying? You know, when that's
Yeah,
why we always walk around talking about I know. And that's what I mean by, like, the Bible is trying to tell you that even though you see something happening, that may not be the case.
yeah, I mean, because all right, just imagine this. You're a good distance away. Let's say you're like a quarter mile away from something, but you can kind of see it in the distance, but you can't see it fully. But from your angle, it looked like somebody just knocked somebody upside the head with a bat. But until you really get close and you really see and able to talk to the people that was there, you know, no, they were playing and somebody swung a loaf of bread.
Yeah,
So I
like
mean,
something totally different. Yeah.
yeah, a totally whole another scenario that you have to live with the fact that, especially from a quarter of a mile away, I didn't see what I thought I saw. You know what I'm saying? Until I really am able to get close and investigate, really, it's like, wait a minute, damn, this person that got hit by a bat and they just walking around like no problem. No, there was never a bat, fucker.
Right. And it's so many verses in the Bible that are like that as far as the people misunderstanding them. Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, I
Let's
know.
hit, let me
that you could communicate
let
with
me
each
hear
other.
Karis one real
Look,
quick. Let's listen to Karis one.
like I was saying to you that in a weird way, yes, sir, when family members pass, yes, it means that something great is about to happen in your life, and you need guidance from the other side. What's up? Okay, you need guidance on the other side. Like I said, in a weird way, when Scott LaRock passed, he was killed in the Bronx. That's when my guidance started. Yes. When you have a parent that or a brother, a sister, a son, these are it's painful to deal with, but you have someone on the other side now that you can communicate with. What a great privilege that is to have someone on the other side that's outside of space, yes, and time. Wow. Appeal to that person, talk to them, leave his favorite food out, his favorite drink, leave it out. Let him know that he exists. Wow. And you'll see the guidance. Look, wow, like I was saying to you,
that's deep.
In a weird,
the thing, Selassie, y'all know that like in different parts of the world, they kind of worship people, like they worship the ancestors, the literal people who was alive. That's when they say Jah Rastafari, Halassi. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I'm saying it wrong, but I hate to misquote stuff like that. So,
Hey,
but anyways, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Anyways,
I know what you're trying to say, bro.
Those,
I know what you're trying to say.
A real person that was alive that worked to try to help his people. Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying? These are the people that they mention when they talk about their ancestors and they talk about worshiping. And this kind of goes back to Yahweh and the Israelites and so forth and so on. They want to go back to Christ, which is okay. It's fine. The Christ energy is a good thing. But I want people to realize that, like, okay, it seems like the value, especially like, it's martyrdom. Basically, the value comes after they're dead. People aren't seeing the value of people when they're alive, and people also don't like after they've been dead for some years is when it's like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and you look back, wait, hold on, these people were really trying to look out. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is we kind of getting twisted with the religions, is like, and trying to go back, and we're not praising the true ancestors, the ones who were here that we know were here, and we know they were trying to help, their people.
Well, and especially when there's like anthropologists for the last couple of 100 years that has been trying to prove the presence, or at some point the presence of these people in the Bible, not just Jesus, but other people that were there. And we just have to get over it and realize that, I mean, these people.
Pat, I'm right after you, bro. I'm right after you. Please finish what you were saying, please.
You had to cut me off to tell me that.
Yeah, because I would have forgot my thought.
Okay. Well, however, we have to be able to accept that the Bible, we have to use it to our benefit. And, if we have to think in our mind that these people, the only way that, you can learn from it is if they were real, we got to do better, because, we have to take these symbols, these ideas, these people that we've we're learning our principles on from, as true, like just learn the best way we can from them, and they don't have to be real people in order for us to live our lives based on the principles we learn from them.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with you.
Curtis?
Yeah, where you at?
Oh,
Curtis?
thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Good, God. So back on what Pat was saying is like, yeah, man, Christianity, dude. There's so many damn religions out here that, like, even take yourselves for example. You have your own visions, you have your own views of this world. So we're being split as humans. I'm not just talking about black people. I'm not just talking about white people. We're being split so many fucking times that the shit it's damn near unfathomable. I can't go learn every damn every fucking religion, man. So I mean, yeah, that's the cause of a problem, but I mean, I guess that's one that we can't fix because we're all, raised differently. We're all raised differently. I wasn't raised like Shaka. I wasn't raised like Pat. You know what I'm saying? It's like I have my own core of where I was raised. So, I mean, thinking about who created us in that aspect, it could, for some people it can be confusing. I don't play with the 2000 and the 2002. It's 2002 different relationships. One just popped up within the last 3 years. It's called hyperialism. Don't believe me? I don't care. I'm not going through it. Look it up. Look it up, bro. It's fucking hyperialism. And like I was listening for a while, and then something happened. Dude, you know how I am. Something happened. He said one fucked up thing, and I was like, oh hell no, man, I ain't getting to none of this shit. And it's like, oh fuck that. One thing can fuck up your whole goddamn perception. Well, mine at least. You said one fucked up thing, and it's like, oh shit, that's you, because you can't wipe the shit off. You can't fucking wipe it off. So as far as like. Yeah, people, you owe your creator. You owe your damn creator. We're all created by one goddamn being. It's only one fucking earth. We only our known information is only one goddamn galaxy, and that's when motherfuckers start spreading out. You're like, oh, well, maybe there's several gods. Who created the whole goddamn thing? Our known galaxy is still fucking spreading. It's still spreading. We are moving. Like,
yeah, I think one creator, I think, all praises due. And I think that
you better get that shit back.
I think that the whole reason for prayer is just to give thanks. I think that's all you're really supposed to do when you pray, because I feel like God already gave you everything. So all you're supposed to be doing is saying thank you.
I do. I feel that way too.
Your prayer should be thank you. Asking for stuff is not a prayer. That's like you're doing some seance stuff. You know what I'm saying? Well,
you really, I mean, if even, I can't say that because I can't judge these people on their relationship with our damn creator. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I don't believe that, dude. I don't believe in the eight arms and motherfuckers out here praising goddamn people like Buddhism. Is like, no, you're praising that fat fuck. I'm sorry. I don't know if Pat knows this. I don't believe in Jesus. You praising that motherfucker. You didn't fucking die for my sins, man. I wasn't here. My mana frame has nothing to do with what happened 60 fucking years. Hold on. Let me ask you this question. It has nothing to do with fucking 60 years ago. This is why I fucking hate talking about goddamn racism. Because I can destroy these goddamn people on the point that, bitch, you ain't never owned a slave. And if you think that you own a slave, let me see that. Because there are people that still walk this fucking planet that mentally own people, bro. Like, that's a problem. That's a big fucking problem for me. That's a huge fucking problem for me. I can't deal with that. When I see that shit, I chisel at it. I have to get it off. It's like, no. And then they see fucking me. They see fucking me, and then they get pissed off. So
well, you're all over the place, Curtis. Buddhism has some very good principles in it.
no, I'm not saying it doesn't. But you still giving thanks to a man that walked this world, bro. I can't do that.
So
I cannot fucking do that. I don't believe that my creator would send his first creation. Well, and then the back to the Bible. I'm not, dude. I've already done it. I've already went through it. That's why I said I read the Bible myself. No, I haven't been through all goddamn 1,900 and something. It's like 2,000 pages in there. It's so fucking close to the goddamn. What I'm telling you, how many goddamn religions that I don't want to think about that shit. Hopefully it's 3,000. Pray that I'm fucking wrong. But there's like, come on. But back to the damn point. My point is no. Well,
what about
I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid to be praising a human being that's walking on this damn planet than to praise a man that has walked on this damn planet and allowed these goddamn people to kill him. And you're the son of God. And I'm still here suffering 2,000 something years later? Are you fucking out of your goddamn mind? I'm still here fucking suffering. Yes, I'm not here to destroy your goddamn peace of mind, man. Hell no, that's not what the fuck I'm here to do.
What do you think? What do you think about what KRS-One said?
What did KRS-One say?
He was talking about the ancestors, you know, and he was talking about
shit! I didn't know he was from KRS-One.
And he said, when someone dies close to you,
that's on you, bro. That's on you. That's on you. You lived through that. So I can't say that I disagree with him. That's on you. That's what you see. That's what you believe.
Because to me,
dude, as an example, dude, I fear dreaming about my dad. I fear that. And it's because of how I feel. I feel that I felt my dad, although I know that I didn't do shit. So I can't destroy that man on what he fucking believes. If he believes that's what he sees when he goes to sleep and he's dreaming and he's in La La Land, and he's in space, he's in a totally different dimension, then that's what he believes, bro.
So what was it that
who am I to destroy him?
What was it that your dad believed or whatever that was bad or whatever?
My dad didn't believe anything bad. My dad was a full-blown Christian.
Okay.
Like he believed in Christ. He believed in God. But that was a good man.
So, but KRS-One was saying,
because if there's no, yeah, go ahead.
Well,
say it again.
What I was saying was,
I could pick.
Either way, KRS-One was saying your ancestors switched over, and maybe it's a good thing for you because now you have somebody on the other side that's looking out for you. And
that's a good thought, bro. I'm not gonna hate it. That's a good thought. That's his good thought.
Somebody that you were actually connected to, that you knew, that you touched, that you spoke with, and this entity. Because I mean, regardless if because our connection with most people is still through mind, and the same way that people are using they're deifying Jesus. How about deifying your father, your grandparents, or your great grandmother, somebody who made you feel good in this world, somebody who believed in you, and maybe you still that because of the connection you have directly with that person can actually help you through moments that seems to be that are a little tough for you. So that's the ancestor, I guess you could say ancestor worship, which I think is just really the way that you communicate with this entity is can be beneficial to you just because you don't have to guess if this person was real or not. If you're because I mean, the one thing about the whole Jesus thing is that there is a real question for a lot of people.
Maybe people needed that. I don't know. Maybe people needed that.
I think that was our natural. That was our natural religion. I think before, You know,
You talking
and,
about? You talking about? You talking about? I'm not gonna. I don't want to go into racism, but you talking about what happened when you say our? Because I have to ask that question when you say our. You talking
it's
about
not really.
humans?
It's not really a racial thing. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? The further you go back,
I hear you.
the darker everybody gets. So there's no argument with that.
Because I mean,
We're
every religion has their own idea of who Jesus was or whatever, and
Yep,
that's
and that's why
fine.
you got black Jesus, white
But
Jesus, Mexican Jesus, Puerto Rican Jesus. Like, dude, I get,
Asian
I grow
Jesus,
tired of this whole damn religion because the motherfuckers they stay on those points, man. It's like, man, yeah, you better
yeah.
give
So,
your
but I'm saying it's humans' natural religion, and I think that's what we've done historically. And it's only been a shorter amount of time that we do these deities in the way that we do, like Jesus, the saint, the Pope. You know what I'm saying? Mother Mary, Muhammad, all of these, icons, uh, because this separates us from each other
Chef,
because
why
we
you
should
doing that, bro?
the real people that that was in your life, the real people that fought and
No,
died,
bro.
and soldiers know this. Anybody that's been to war, who's been through any real conflict, you know what I'm saying, they gonna give praises to that dude who got him out of the fucking bush. You know what I'm saying? When the shit
yeah,
hit the fucking fan. And especially if that nigga died doing it.
yeah.
That's who he gonna be thinking about when he pray.
Well, and I'm thinking of it like this because I like okay when something when I'm gone and my son needs something to lean on, he knows that his dad was there for him. He trusts his dad. He trusts
Hey,
and
bro.
believe in
Hey, give me a second.
in his
I'm finna go
dad.
pick up some more beer,
So
bro.
All right, be careful.
All right, I will.
Go ahead, Pat.
because I don't want to give any like real spookiness to the whole idea of ancestor worship. But as far as and maybe worship is the wrong word to use for it, but I think that because of the connection that you actually have with people, that you've actually experienced them. You've touched them. You've smelled them. You know certain things about them, and maybe even especially after they transition, there's certain things about them that always reminds you of them. Just to be able to use that as a
A
way
way
to
to connect with
re-empower
them, not
yourself.
because it's the mind, the universe's mind, right? And
Yeah,
what he was saying was, he said, open your ancestors' favorite drink, put their favorite food out, let them know
yeah.
you thinking about them, and
Yeah, put a
that's
put a put a put a bowl pull a bowl out there for them, and to be at least make them feel welcome when they come in your presence, because he might want us, wanting to smoke something. I mean, whatever it is, you know what I'm
whatever
saying?
it is, because that's
And
exactly
that's
what it could have been. It could be cocaine. That's what people have to understand. It's not, they try to look at this right and wrong, good and bad, and that's where religion really gets people lost in, because, like, okay, it's legal to drink. So, and I've been jamming Toby, what's his name? Toby, I can't think of his name. But anyways, the music is really good. But it's bass, it's the more I listen to it, I realize it's very Christian. But it's hidden, and that's not necessarily a
mhm.
problem, but I hear it in the music. Like, okay, one of the things is, like, okay, like I say, it's legal to drink alcohol. Therefore, it's accepted to drink alcohol in, like, the Christian, to be Christian. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Any of the drugs that are illegal, those are bad for Christians. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that, I mean, I don't know if I'm being clear with everybody out there, but so the what's legal is good, what's illegal is bad. But this is the state.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Constantine made Christianity the state religion, for a reason. They were
Hmm.
just persecuting Christians. They had been persecuting Christians for hundreds of years already. And then Constantine was obviously a really smart motherfucker, clearly, because the decisions that he made, what he did, has had effects to this day. So he
Yeah,
decided,
because he tried to criminalize pagans, and then after he realized, like, okay, well, damn, there's still a bunch of people who still believe in paganism, and he's like, all right, well, damn, all right, well, let's just kind of merge paganism and Christianity together. So it's like, okay, well, and that's one thing that caused a lot of problems over time was, wait a minute, you've been saying how bad these people are because they appreciate the sun and the moon and uh, the stars and this, that, and the other. Actually, appreciating the universe, and you said that there's one God, and you should, like, it's so crazy how what I'm saying, and very
how they
confusing, I'm
incorporated that
sure, to the
shit
people of.
and completely
Yeah,
flipped it the script, because they were killing Christians and putting them on the cross and put enslaving them and walking through the city with them, their head and shit. Like, they was like, if you're a Christian, we coming for your head. And then they just flipped the
yeah,
script and said, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? Since y'all really feeling this Christianity thing, then we just gonna make it like, you know what I mean, the official religion for everybody. But hey, we gotta make some adjustments because we gotta make it good for everybody, you know what I mean? So the people that's over here that wasn't really on the Christian shit, we gotta make sure we put some of their stuff in it too. And then we gonna make it a
yeah.
state sanctioned official religion. Therefore, like, it's kind of like an unofficial thing, right? It's like they don't really write it down, just like the United States. It's written that it's not religion, church and state supposed to be separated and all of that shit, but they put their hand on the Bible every time they get sworn in to whatever. And whenever it's a military
Well,
thing, they always quoting the Bible and all, and they're praying and all of this stuff. So it's an unofficial.
but
The Christianity is the unofficial state religion.
and I mean, for people who actually read the Bible and don't, because I mean, there's a lot of people. I truly believe, like, a lot of what Curtis says is true, because a lot of people really don't understand it and don't realize certain things that they see in the Bible as being a problem. It should be considered a problem if you're a Christian, because like, if you're one of these devout, like, uh you know word for word, you believe how, what I'm saying, because I mean, there's paganism all through this book, that and the same, in one breath, is saying you should never do this, and or you know giving option to things that would have never been an option. Like,
It's so
it's really
confusing.
insane.
I've read the Bible so many times, and the thing is, I remember tears dropping out of my eye while I'm reading the Bible and the page getting wet because I'm trying to understand this fucking shit. I was like, but 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 I don't understand. And I was crying.
Yeah, bro, it gives it, like, I really believe, like, I mean, because until you get to a point to where you can say, okay, you know what, each one of these stories are individual, and I have to learn what they're trying to teach, individually. I have to separate these things. I can't put everything into one, like, thinking that, everything is concurrent with each other, and they just everything is a cohesive thought, and it's not. It's far from it. Like, dude, like they just compiled a bunch of different stories and books from different places, and really maybe that's one of the reasons why they were like the Romans were like, no, like you don't need to learn how to read because we'll decipher it for you, because they knew how confusing them, they made it. Like the Council of Nicaea, like they had a bunch of good ideas, but they still didn't have those ideas where they ran concurrent with the what was written in the book.
And,
They
and my
just
point of bringing up the whole thing is because we got the Israelites, we got the Mormons, we got whatever, and even the Mormons, they kind of like worship a guy that's kind of like more of a real person. You know what I mean? So, but what I'm trying to say is that our natural human heritage of worship was of real people. You know what I mean? The ones that we gave reverence
yeah.
to. Now we worship God, the universe, but we gave reverence to the ancestors, the real people who was alive. And we spoke their name, and you know what I mean, and gave thanks to them, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. They had to go through their struggles. Think about each person that's alive on the planet. At the very least, your parents had to have sex. You know what I mean? The sperm had to find this egg. You know what I mean? You had to come out, and you had to come out healthy enough to grow up, and your parents had to have taken care of you to a certain extent. What I mean is, like, these are a whole bunch of things happening that really had a huge impact on your life. You get what I'm saying? And then we just want to give all the
Yeah.
thanks away to Jesus or whoever, not to knock anybody's
I mean,
religion.
and especially when like if you've done any real studying in political and religious study, there's certain things that you had to have found out, whether you want to believe them or not, that like there's certain
That's what
people
makes
that
me angry. I used to talk to Ashley about this because and I mean, I don't want to call nobody out, but she has a friend who's a pastor. He owns a church. He's building a church. I'm not knocking nobody for building a church. What I'm saying is that I know that if you've come down the studying, and if you've done the actual studying, and at some point you're gonna come to certain realizations. We all are going to come to these same conclusions once we have done enough of the studying, once we have gotten a certain level into it. And so that's why
yeah.
I know for a fact that these people know these things that I know, the same stuff, and yet they're
Mhm.
telling people something different in the church.
Yeah, and that's a lot of times my problem, because like
That's
I've
dishonesty.
I I don't I used to like to commune with the people that I grew up with in the church that I went to when I was younger, and I've chosen over time, like when I'm in town with my mom, chosen just not to go, because it kind of like it's times, especially like right now, I'm like, I know that the past, like him and I are the same age, and there's certain things that he has to know, especially based on some of the symbols that's on the church. His dad, I mean, you have to assume that he passed on all of the things that it took for him to become a good pastor to you, or so there's certain things that he will understand that I understand, and me and him having that conversation. I mean, I'm not gonna get belligerent or act, stupid, but my thing is like there's certain things that you could be teaching these elderly people that they never learned. You know what I'm saying? Like there's, a certain perception of this Bible, or how certain things that maybe they could have a better belief in, or how to believe. Is I don't know. To me, it just seems very,
It's
um,
it's dishonest. It's dishonest. That's
yeah.
why, like I be saying,
That's it.
if I
Yeah.
open a church, you guys, I've crossed over to the dark side. Trust me, and I fight against you know, I fight against it every day because I know I can make up. Y'all gonna come bring me all y'all money. Y'all
Well,
gonna come give me all your money.
dude, no, but I mean, I think that you can have a church that has more the honesty, because I mean, learning the Bible, there's not a bad thing about it. Like, there's actually a good thing to learning the Bible, but learning it, you know, and learning it in honesty, not with some fairy tales, you know, teaching kids and adults that, within this story, this is the point. This is what we're supposed to get out of this story. Like, and maybe remind them from time to time, hey, this Job was not a real person. He didn't, all these, like, Joseph didn't go all through all these different little things just for this, like this, or because his brothers were jealous of him or whatever. This was a story to teach you something, you
And
know.
Adam and Eve, how you know, how did he go to the land and go find a which one of them? One of the sons went to go find a wife in the land of something or whatever. Like how the
In the
hell?
Enoch,
So you
the
know, so
the land of Nod, or whatever it was. I forget what it was.
whatever it was.
But
So
however,
like
yeah,
it wouldn't make sense that that's the beginning of humanity with Adam and Eve, even within the Adam and Eve story. What's up, Deuce? How you feel, bro? You
Shit, pretty
there?
good, man. What's going on, man? Yeah,
Deuce,
yeah, yeah. Can
Deuce,
y'all hear me? Can
Deuce,
y'all
what's
hear me?
up? What's up? Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we can
Yes,
hear
Oh,
you.
sir.
ain't that much, man. How y'all doing, bro? How y'all?
All
Good,
right.
man.
You on the road?
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm back out here. Back out here, man. Got that one day at the crib and had to hit it.
So you're not in the weather though. It ain't no weather where you at, right?
Nah. I'm coming across Interstate 20. I'm in how do you say this? Bard, Texas, Baird, Texas, or something like that. What is that? I forget how you even
Uh,
spell it. I think it's BAIRD or something like that.
don't get me to lie.
Oh,
Texas so
Bart,
fucking
Bard, yeah.
Bart,
Texas
Texas.
so big and full of a bunch of them little fucking towns. Shit.
You ain't
I think
lying.
all
Texas is so vast, bro.
I think every city's name in the United States is in within Texas too. We probably got a New York, Texas somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know about that one, but but they had say, bro, like, it tripped me out because, like, when I in my first years of driving trucks, I was all over Texas, and they have like little simple names for towns like Elk, Texas, or uh what Antelope, Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like, just little simple names like that. From the simple to some, you know, I guess you could say not so simple. But yeah, that's, bro. If you look up the list of different names, bro, you gonna be like, shit. It goes on and
Yeah.
on and on and on.
yeah, they repeat, and I noticed that they repeat names of other cities, so it causes confusion.
Well,
But you safe
county,
out there.
they might have
You
well, go
safe
ahead.
out there,
Yeah, go
Deuce,
ahead.
right? Deuce,
Oh yeah. No, we're good. We're going across 20. I'm headed to Van Horn, Texas. So yeah, we're good.
because there was some crazy weather right here in Houston. We had tornado warning, flash flood warning. I damn near got
Yeah.
caught in that shit.
Yeah, I got the tornado warnings and stuff like that, but once I made it up around Alma, Texas, headed over to Cleburne, however you pronounce that. The
Hmm.
rain had stopped, so I had a lot of dense fog leaving Cleburne, headed this way. a lot of dense fog, but now we clear now, so yeah,
That
pretty
fog,
good.
that fog scares me more than almost anything, bro. Because like we was talking about driving in the snow and how you can't see that fucking fog, nigga. A nigga can't see if that fog is thick as fuck. A nigga can't see shit.
Nah, you can't. And what kills me about the fog is when you have people riding with their high beams in the fog. It's like, that doesn't help. That doesn't make your visibility any better.
And it's
It
bad
makes
for
it
the
worse.
other for the other drivers. It makes it bad
It,
for the other drivers. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I've seen where the bright lights can, help your vision, depending on, whether the fog is kind of high or low or whatever. But you can't leave them on. Like you see another vehicle coming, like you got to turn the shit off. That can really fuck with somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have you all fucked up because you're already in the fog and then you already can't see and then somebody got their high beams on. Now you blind like a motherfucker. You literally might have a head-on collision with another car because you literally can't see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, but nah, man, we're good. We're good, man. Back out here hustling. I only had a day at the house. Might as well say less than a day, like a half a day.
And you already got a new partner and everything?
Yeah. I got a whole new part. That's why I got shorted on my day off, man, so I could start up with him on a fresh week. So, but it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Yeah, my little one, he was pissed off. My daughter, not so much, but my son, he was like, man, he told me straight out, he's like, Daddy, I love you, be safe, but I hate your schedule.
Yeah, man. That's the part that hits you, man. But
Yeah,
wait,
man.
where you at, Pat? I think you told me earlier, but I forgot.
I don't think I did, but I'm in Knoxville right now.
That's why I say I'm Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yes, sir. I was actually right down the street from Deuce a couple of nights ago. I
Oh,
started.
okay.
I had a delivery in Lamarck. What day was that?
Oh,
Tuesday.
in Lamar, Texas?
Yeah,
Yeah, man, yeah, you right by my crib.
yeah. So
I have
and then
no. I've been
I
to
had to
his
leave.
house, and I have no idea where the fuck that is.
Lamar is about 10 minutes past my house. Right at about 10 minutes.
Well, what I'm saying is I don't even know where your house is at. What I'm saying is the GPS was everything. I like if somebody was to ask me how to get there, whatever, or where the hell it's at, I can't tell you there. GPS took me over there.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Man, yeah, when I first started driving, first got with my wife was like, how do you know how to get around? I'm like, I just know where places are at, like, I know if I want to go home, guess what? I need to point in the direction that takes me south. You
That's
know what I'm
help.
saying?
That's
Man,
helpful.
there's very
Knowing
few
the
places I
directions.
go to. Yeah, there's very few places I go without a GPS, man.
Yeah, but knowing the
I
directions are
mean,
so
when
good.
I'm in Louisiana.
Do y'all have compasses on your trucks?
Hell no. You got a map book and a GPS.
It, I think it would be helpful to have. Seem like you would. They would put a compass right there on the GPS just cause. You know what
Well,
I
on the
mean?
GPS, it'll tell you what direction you're pointing in if if you have it set up that way. But it's still like, I mean, honestly, like if you driving that much, like the signs on the road, you should be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, it's telling you east to west, north to south.
Sometimes I get confused
Certain
on that shit when
highways.
I. Sometimes I get confused when if I'm on. It's 610 gets me, because 610 north, 610 south, 610 west, 610 east, or whatever the fuck, because it's going in a circle. I know it's going in a circle. I know that like those directions, the signs that they're saying. Anyways, it fucks up my brain. I get all fucked up with that. I get confused sometimes. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Bro, don't feel bad because if somebody asks me, hey man, I'm on 610, and I'm like 610 where? They're like, I'm over here on the north side by Homestead, and I'm like, okay, well you need to take 610 across the ship channel to 45, because I don't like, because 610 goes north, south, east, and west.
That's what
So
I'm
it's
saying.
like I always get confused on that side of town. Okay, is that going north or south, or is that east or west? But then I have to remember I-10 is right there, and I-10 runs east to west. So
that would have
if
been
you're on that side, you're gonna come south.
Yeah, and hit I-10. That's the way to
Yeah.
go, because the way you just said would be the long way around, way out the way. But yeah, that's what I get confused as hell. So, but that goes to the basics of what like masonry. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge, the north. You know, being able to establish what, like, if you're in the middle of nowhere and you need to know certain things, like the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, right? Because maybe you don't have no compass, you don't have no GPS, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but you would have to be like out in the wilderness somewhere for that. You feel me?
Yeah,
Like,
but that could happen. What I'm saying is that knowledge is is valuable.
yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
Cause you can't even read the compass if you don't know what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? You need to know what the
Yeah.
damn compass is even saying. If you don't understand, you know, north, south, east, and west, then you won't even, the compass can't even help you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that nigga, what Christopher Columbus ass was lost like a motherfucker. I bet you he had a compass. His ass was lost as fuck.
Yeah. That motherfucker out.
Hey, I want to read this because we were talking about the ancestors, and this popped up on my timeline right here, and I think it's pretty interesting. Um, Drew Ali, Noble Drew Ali, um,
Yeah.
January 8th, 1886 to July 20th, 1929. I'm sure a lot of people out there know. Um, Let me read a bit of this. It says Noble Drew Ali, founder of Moorish Science Temple, precursor to Nation of Islam. It says, have you ever heard of Noble Drew Ali? If not, he is the religious leader responsible for bringing Islam, nationality, and birthrights to North America. I don't know if I would agree with all that. Having lived between 1886 and 1929, Ali was the founder and prophet of the Moorish Science Temple of America. This was the first mass religious community in the history of American Islam and Black nationalist model for the Nation of Islam. This shows a photo of 1928 Moorish Science Temple conclave in Chicago. Noble Drew Ali can be seen in white in the front row center. I'm going to
Ooh,
flip some
man.
more. According to his own accounts, Ali left home at 16 and joined a band of gypsies who took him overseas to Egypt, Morocco, and the Middle East. This is according to Wikipedia, apparently. Student of mysticism, while Ali was in Egypt, he impressed a high priest who trained him in mysticism and gave him a lost section of the Quran. Ali established the Canaanite Temple, the first Moorish American community in Newark, New Jersey in 1913. He renamed his community several times before founding new temples in several Midwestern and Southern cities. The Moorish American community grew to approximately 30,000 members and was the largest Islamic community in the United States before the ascendancy of the Nation of Islam in the 1950s, according to encyclopedia.com. As followers of Moorish Americans, turbans and fezzes. They also changed their slavery surnames using EI or Bey. They even created their own nationality cards and flag and refer to themselves as olive-skinned Asiatics, descendants of Morocco, instead of Negroes or colored people. You guys know, just understand these are not my words. I'm reading this. To support his case for
I
Moorish
understand.
American. Yeah, I don't want people to jump on me. To support his case for Moorish American identity, Ali emphasized two important points. First, Black Americans were really Asiatics, the descendants of Jesus, he believed. And second, the destiny of Western civilization was linked to. I hope they finished that. They just ended that like that? Wow. By 1928, the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated was an established fact. It was believed that the procedure of elevating the movements to the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated from Canaanite Temple in phases was to prepare the people for this great new thought movement, entirely different from the churches they had been used to. According to the Moorish Science Temple of America, with the incorporation came a new charter, a divine constitution, and bylaws consisting of 7 acts. There's 2 more slides I'm going to read. Now, let's look at Noble Drew Ali, a man that died a young man. He lived from 1886 to 1929. I salute my brother. He is the first man to bring Islam to us in the way he tried to bring it. And I thank him and I thank Allah for him. He's calling all Black people in America Moors. But Moors is the name given to Muslims from North Africa that invaded the Iberian Peninsula and brought Islam to Spain and Portugal and southern France. So he's calling us Moors, and he dresses his followers in the fez of the Muslim people of the East. He's also quoted as, last slide. Damn, they just jumped. On March 15th, 1929, Ali's business manager, Claude Green, was murdered in Chicago. Ali was arrested. Ali was incarcerated in Atlanta. After being several weeks later, Ali mysteriously died at home. The movement continues. The Moorish movement is still alive today. According to the Moorish Science Temple of America, there are many small temples all over America still following the great teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Yeah, that was pretty good, even though they jumped around and it wasn't all that accurate. What you got to say, Pat?
Well, I mean, after a lot of research, because I was hung on this Moorish movement for a long time, and I mean, I think that we are combined with Moors through the Aboriginal, like discovery, um, you know, and some of the things I think are a little off, because there was this guy named Brother Divine that was a head of a nationality movement before um Ali came around, before Drew Ali came around. um there's a lot, I mean, if you really follow some of the history and use common sense, you'll find that maybe these were maybe some good movements. I think this is something that Elijah Muhammad was a part of. But the idealism of, because I mean, I think the nationality everybody should do, period. So I mean, you
It
know,
had to be Master Farad Muhammad. It had to be around that time because what's his name wasn't around yet. The one you said
he's in one of those, that picture that you just saw.
yeah.
Elijah Muhammad was in that picture.
Oh yeah. So see, that's what I like about history though. It's hard to understand the time frames. This picture right here.
I believe that's the same picture. Yeah.
He must have been
Maybe.
a
Well, I
young,
don't.
really young man.
Well, yeah.
It
During
says
that
this
time,
is
yeah.
a
He's.
photo in
But
1928. So that's why I say I think it's Master Farad Muhammad, the one that Elijah was.
Master Farad. No, because I mean, of course, he had to come to the scene at some point, but I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
that Elijah Muhammad's birth and life came about whenever Farad Muhammad came around. There's a lot of life that Elijah Muhammad had. I say a lot of life, but enough, like through his teenage years, early 20s or whatever, before Farad Muhammad came
Before
about
Farad.
and gave him,
Okay.
the, yeah. So I mean, I get where you're trying to get to, but this was one of the stages that Elijah Muhammad went through on his journey to become who he became.
Okay.
So y- yeah, but either way, I think it's a good thing to understand and kind of know some of this history, but I don't know how important it really is because if you learn anything about nationality and think you at some point realize, yeah, that's something that especially for black people you should have corrected, but
Yeah, I was about
giving
to say I don't like the
you know per,
nationality part of it. Yeah.
yeah, well, I
But
know. I
it
mean,
but it still had a lot
but
of good in it. And then it's
yeah,
also
I
a bit
mean,
of confusion when they talk about the people from Morocco. So what you think about that?
well, that's one of the my biggest problems as well because I mean, if you're here in America, I mean, because I guess based on some things that you might be able to find in law is that Morocco is the first country to have given their mark on there's a speech that Obama gave is like Morocco was the first country to recognize America, and they're saying that at some point where Morocco actually, like America was Morocco, or vice versa, however that will work. Um, but there's conflict there in a few different ways that
The confusion, because I
the
think
way.
that's true. I think it's true because talking about the Moors, I always say that I feel like America couldn't have became America. They had to be given permission. Somebody gave them permission, and I believe this is what I believe, and I think it was the Moors. But what people don't understand is when you say Moors, it has different meanings at different times along history. You know what I'm saying? And especially coming
Yeah,
from Europeans, they always misunderstand. Well, not misunderstand. They always put everybody in a group together or whatever. Like they always categorize everybody together. Basically, they don't understand they don't care to, take the time to go through the intricacies related to the ethnicities within populations. They like to put everybody as the same. So, but they weren't. So, like the Moroccan people, they're different people. Okay, is what I'm saying. And so, but you had when people said more at a certain time in history, it just meant like dark colored people
dark
or
skinned
like
people.
or people from like another place, like people from wherever that were aboriginal or whatever.
Well,
Like it had a broad meaning.
yeah, and I mean, based on the Treaty of Tripoli, which some people call the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, or whatever the connections that was uh, defined between Morocco and United States. Uh, there was there's things that's written into a lot of our governmental documents that shows those connections. So, I mean, there's a was a Sidi Muhammad. He was the oh shit, what they call it? Shit, the Grand Sheik. He was like one like the top guys during the time. that that actually allowed or gave the permission at the time. So I mean, if you really, if you really want to understand it, there's a lot of documents. The Library of Congress has things that you can go and see, but most people, don't really want to, understand it from that viewpoint because, they would have to accept some truths that they ignored for a long time. But
Yep. So it kind of goes back to the Christianity when we was talking about these pastors that we know if they because I know these people have done a bunch of study and so that means I know that they have read a lot of the stuff that same stuff I've read. So I also know that they've come
mhm.
to some of the same conclusions that I've come to. It kind of goes
Well,
back to
I mean,
that.
the number one thing that I think that people would have to accept about America is that it was not originally a Christian country. That's like one of the biggest things because that, like, you hear that a lot about America's a Christian country. No, no, it
Like,
really
where does that
wasn't.
come
You
from?
know,
But what I was saying though, the Council of Nicaea, and like America, like is like the new Rome, or they try to feel like they are, or they trying to, what I'm trying to say. So, the Constantine making Christianity the official, unofficial language, religion is kind of like similar. Like, I agree with what you're saying, Chris, but you see in people's mind, they're thinking that America is a Christian, uh, you know, based on Christianity or was born out of Christianity or whatever. It's not
yeah,
true,
no,
but they believe it in their mind. But that's also related all the way back to Constantine. What I'm saying, the state and Christianity being intertwined,
yeah,
like, and same thing with the law. So the law is very Christian too. We could talk about like marriage, right? How you can't have multiple wives in the United States. It's not legal to do that. And that comes from Christianity.
yeah.
And there's a bunch of laws that
Which
we have that are backed up by Christianity. Like I say, drinking alcohol is totally cool. It's totally fine.
being drunkard, yeah,
It's
being
totally
drunkard,
cool. It was in the Bible.
yeah.
What you think about that, Deuce? You there?
Yeah. I'm here. I'm here. My bad, man. I muted you guys. I'm starving, bro. Didn't have time to bring nothing to eat, so I had to stop and grab me something.
Uh, so what you think? You got any questions or you statements or what you been hearing?
No, oh man, I didn't know anything about what you guys were just talking about. As far as the gentleman who is supposed to be responsible for bringing what was it to America? Ah,
Kind of like nationalism, Islam, but Islam in like a new way, kind of mixed in with nationalism, and also kind of like Moorish science. You know, it kind of really just giving the black people like another way to think about things because they were, completely stuck in the Christianity. So this gave
okay,
them like another option or whatever.
okay, I got you. I got you. So, like, honestly, like, what is Moorism?
Moorism?
Moorish,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I guess. I mean, because Moorism is
I
a
don't think that's a thing.
A Moorish identity was, I guess, another way that people might use that term, or you have a similar way to look at that was Like if you're from America and you're a dark skinned person, in
Uh-huh.
some books they will call you Ethiopians of the West.
Yeah, or
Uh,
Moors.
or
Okay.
more, or more. So, but however, that term has been, you know, demonized to a certain extent because they don't want people to identify with that, because especially black people, because it really brings it draws you back to a certain level of power in this country. And
Okay.
there's a lot of people who don't want black people to have the power that they used to have in this country. So if you identify as a Moor, and you properly reconnect yourself to through government with nationality, you
Uh-huh.
you actually can realize certain things in this world that you won't as a black person or African American, because all of those are made up terms to denationalize you. So it's a lot
Okay.
to, yeah, and that's where a lot of people don't realize that's where some of our biggest genocide came from, is on
On
paper.
paper.
And Chaka says he's against nationality, but because one of the things I think us as melanated people should appreciate, at least during this time period, is that we can reclaim some of those things. And maybe once we get past this whole identity crisis thing that we're going through, that we may not have to do the whole nationality thing. But I think it's something that's pertinent for us to be able to grow in the world, in life period. Because I mean, a lot of people don't even realize, like, just calling yourself an African is the same, is equivalent to calling yourself a slave, because Africa was named after some princess, some white woman.
I don't
So
know about that. I did some studying on that. That was a very interesting thing that I kind of went down a rabbit hole to. Africa. But I don't think that that's true. I think that that's one of those things because the Europeans, the way they do stuff, they like a lot of times, like I say, they're not very creative, bro. Yeah, remember that every time. And a lot of times, what they do is they kind of like, they co op shit. You know what I'm saying? And then they go back after the
yeah,
fact and say, yeah, it was the queen of the Spain queen or whatever. Yeah, that's where Africa came from. And the whole, but see the thing is the people who lived in Africa didn't they have a
call
name
themselves
for
African.
home. Yeah, but you have all these different religions, all these different regions, who they it's don't they don't identify with each other. Like people can't really understand because Africa as a continent is huge as fuck. So you got Africans that don't know nothing about the other ones. You get what I'm saying? And what they would call the place would not be the same. They got different languages, different
Well,
cultures, and everything.
well, the name that we know that quote unquote Africans called the continent before um, colonization was Alkebulan, and that goes back a long ways. But I mean, of course, books, people reading books from the 1800s, and you know, since colonization has happened, it's going to lead you to the whole Africa idea. But either way, I mean, I guess overall, people know what region we're talking about when we say Africa. But when we're using these terms that
It's
was
confusion.
created by, yeah, we're using these titles that was created by colonists.
It's
Um,
confusion.
we're we're pretty much buying into that.
Because like Indian, like the term Indian, and we still use that to this
That's just
day.
like African American. That's like
And
African American.
and everybody knows
Man, I
it's
had this
wrong,
guy.
but we still use it. Go ahead. Go ahead, Deuce.
There's this. He's a friend of mine. His name is Alvin Fitzpatrick. And he's a white guy from Butler, Missouri. And one day we were talking, and I was like, this nationality thing, African American or black, and we were talking, and he was like, "Can I ask you a question?" I was like, "Yeah, what's that?" He was like, "How can you be African and American?"
Right?
He's like, "It's either or. Like, there's
That
no."
don't make sense.
He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're
Com-
not African American."
Yeah, I mean, some questions are just based on common freaking sense, and how is that possible? You one or the other. If we're gonna actually use these terms, I mean, these are continents that are not connected. So how can
It makes
like you just
no sense at all. Like, where were you born?
but even see, but that's the thing too that I've tried to explain to people. Just because there's some people that say, "Well, I'm an African in America." I was like, "Well, you're saying that you're a slave because that just with the idea of what Africans were in
Or
America,
descendant
you
of a slave.
you
And and
yeah,
history tells you that there was plenty of black folks that weren't slaves that were over here throughout that
And
whole
then
history.
if
yeah,
you look at when you go to check off nationality, there's no Mexican American or white
well,
American or it's just white, Hispanic, what I'm saying, and then they got African American.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't make sense.
we're the
Why
only
are these? Why
ones
are we the only ones that have the American
well,
behind us? Like,
like
is
got the
that supposed to make us feel special?
hyphenated as fucking like title.
Yeah.
And
well, most forms don't ask about nationality. They ask they actually have a status. It's asking you your status. So for most people, they have this. They because I mean your status might be Asian or whatever, h- but it's tricky when it comes to for black people. Like pay attention when you really have these forms on what they're really asking, and some of the forms might actually have nationality on there. It's I don't see them all, but for the most part, like it's mostly meant to be tricky for us than anybody else. Like when it comes, like when
confusion.
you get ready to fill it out, yeah, that's the whole thing to cause confusion, because even for Caucasian people, like I mean it's or if you really even want to call, because I mean the original Caucasians were even black. Like I mean it's really like it's so ignorant,
It's
and I
so
get like I can I somewhat I do relate to Chaka when he says that like the nationality thing is stupid, because it is, but at the same time, just because of where we are in the world, based on perspective, I think we have to have it now because of how confused everybody is and the structure that was built.
Yeah, well, the in the academic sphere, they're going in the way as the direction of calling it like the diaspora. And when they're talking about like African diaspora or people of color diaspora,
Ignorant,
well,
ignorant, because the
well,
out of Africa theory has been debunked so many
that's not what
times by different
that's
people.
not what we're talking about. We're talking about the connection between people of color from different
Exactly.
places.
It's, I hear you, but
Yeah, so
that's
then they call it
but
diaspora.
that's my whole point. They call it the African diaspora, like people from Africa that's all over the planet, which is fucking like it's been debunked because there's been people in every continent on every continent of different shades since their beginning.
forever,
You know what I'm
because all
saying?
the
Like since
Aboriginals of every continent are dark skinned. There's no argument with that. But
yeah,
when they,
yeah, it
I'm
shouldn't
just
be.
defending. I'm defending the term of the diaspora, the African diaspora. Like, okay, yeah, they're not right about that, but the idea of the connection between people of color that were born in Africa, the Caribbean, America, North America, South America, Central America, because the
I
point
mean,
is
really, just America. I mean, why
yeah,
are we even separated from the people of South America? I mean,
that
why is North America and South America
I,
separated as people?
I agree with you. It's we have these are the terms that these are the limited uh like resources we have to identify these areas. So whenever I use those terms, it's just for the audience and for you and for whoever's listening. You know what
No,
I'm
no, no.
saying?
I get it. No, I
Right.
get it.
So
I
but
feel where
like
you come from.
Brazil, right? Brazil. Um, if Brazil is a black ass country. Now, it has gone through it's kind of like a Caribbean country where it's gone through the colonization and post-colonization, and with all the influences, they tend to be colorized. Like they're all about the light skin, dark skin, kind of like Dominican Republic and Haiti. So because within the law, within the government, they set, they gave power, influence, and money to the lighter skinned ones. You know what I'm saying? To sow this division that they have over there. But Brazil is black as fuck. And you know what I'm saying? All through
DR.
Central America, you know what I'm saying? All through there. Central America, up in through Mexico, it's a lot of very dark skinned people. You know what I'm saying? And they have a shared heritage and a shared history. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm. Cause see,
So
like my problem, one of my problems, and I guess biggest questions is like, the way we identify ourselves. Yeah, I'm American. What about the people in South America? They're not American. That's what I'm saying. Because it's just
they
North
get
and South
lost,
America.
confusion.
Like, and like even some people from South America don't see themselves as Americans because no, I'm Brazilian. I was like, no, like, okay,
You're still
just
American.
because of the continent, it's an
Because
American.
only
It is a
only
part of
United
the
States
Americas.
citizens, only United States citizens get to say they're American. Don't don't get it twisted. That's
That's
what it is.
bullshit.
Only
But
United
I mean,
States citizens.
because see,
Nobody else.
because
Canada,
my because
Mexico, none of y'all. Go ahead.
because and I guess with just using a little bit of intelligence, like somebody asked me, where am I from? I'm from Louisiana. I'm a Louisianian.
And that
You know
makes
what I'm saying?
sense.
Because it's a country. Like, I mean, that they've developed into a state of, where they can, I guess, for whatever political reasons that they want to call them states. But really, th- these,
And I'm Texan. I'm from Texas. So
you're,
that's what I'm gonna
you,
say.
yeah, you're Texan, exactly. I mean, it's really insane how a lot of us really have how we perceive the
Because this is
realities of our
an
world.
interesting topic because I haven't really thought about this that much actually, but us talking about it right now has got me thinking about it because people from Canada is gonna say they're Canadian. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying? People from
to the
Mexico are
next,
gonna say
I
they're
mean, yeah,
Mexican.
I mean, they are, but at the same time, I mean, are you from Vancouver, or like your
But but but
identity,
but but what I'm talking about is the American side. It really seems true that only the
and
United States people say I'm
or even
American.
Mexicans, or
That's what I'm
even
saying.
because I mean, Mexicans are Americans too.
That's my whole point. That's Brazilians, Portugal. I mean, we could go down the list. Venezuela. Guatemala, Honduras. I mean, go down the list.
Yeah,
But
even Central. I mean, what is Cuba?
because that's right off the
Cubans are
coast.
Americans.
Yes, I would say the same thing. Jamaica,
Yes, they're Americans.
Puerto Rico. That's right off the coast.
American.
So, yeah. So, but the point is, United States citizens are the ones that say they're American. When you ask them, I'm American. But you ask a Canadian, they're gonna say I'm Canadian. You ask a Mexican, they're gonna say I'm Mexican. You get what I'm saying? So we got this. We
I
got
know.
like United States. We got like the monopoly on the whole Americas, North and South America. Only the United States are the real Americans.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. And even like the very same, because I mean, the very same people that are like very much Americans too are, have to fight over, what are they, their identity as far as like I said, the Puerto Ricans, the uh Dominicans, the like
The,
Mexicans, like
the
whatever, Canadians,
Canada,
like
everybody. Venezuela, Brazil, Chile,
yeah.
Uruguay. I never thought about this before. This is kind of blowing my mind. That's why I'm
I
kind of
have.
taking my time, letting this settle into my brain. That United States is the only real Americans.
Look,
Nobody else.
my sister-in-law, my ex-sister-in-law, we were having a conversation. They, because they know that I'm kind of into. I have an idea. I understand some of this nationality stuff, and her husband was, doing some, uh, getting his paperwork together. I guess, to become a U.S. citizen, and she's like, well, I mean, he's Venezuela. I was like, well, yeah, he's Venezuela, but guess he's already an American. Like, why? I don't understand what the. And he said, no, no, he's not an American. I was like, Venezuela is where, and the idea is
your brain has to
okay.
click. It's in South America. Oh yeah, South America is a part of America. Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, you're right.
Yeah, like she looked at me like, okay, I can't talk to him right now because like the thing that he just made me think was like it was too simple. Like why, and I don't know why it takes so much of a, like, it's really like, I mean, if you
brainwashed. They don't teach us geography. They don't teach us
That's
history.
what I'm
They
saying.
don't teach us geography. No, they made us learn the state capitals and shit. You know what I'm saying? They made us learn.
Like and then the thing is, like, they separated us off to make it seem, because honestly, if you really look at the, if you really look at the map, North America and South America are still connected. So we really are just
in America.
Yeah. I mean, it's
but there's
still,
a use for
connected. Like,
there's a use for the term South America, just so that you know that it's the the southern part of America. But yeah, I don't think there's no argument with that. I don't think there's no real argument with what you're saying. I don't think anyone can argue with, not any logical person.
Well, yeah. I mean, somebody will try to give me a run for my money, but and that's fine. I will bring it. Come on, let's do this shit.
It's
like, I don't thought about a lot.
We can pull up. All you gotta pull up is the globe. Pull up a map of the globe, and You know, I've been saying this all my life. Like, I had a globe like one time in my life, and for whatever reason, I lost it. And I've been wanting to buy another one, and I still haven't done it. And I think everyone should have a globe, a literal globe, in their house,
Hmm.
you know, for themselves and their kids. Everyone, all of us. Would none of us knows all
Yeah,
the whole geography of the globe. Nobody knows the geography of the globe. It's too
I
big.
I'm
It's
gonna get
way
me I'm gonna get me a globe, but I want to be able to store me some whiskey and some nice
you could
glasses
you could get
inside
whatever
of it.
kind of globe you want, long as you could turn it around and look at all of the, you know, the countries and continents, and they're written on there. And it also needs to have the topography. You know what I mean? The proper topography, because that's important. The
Yeah,
texture. You know
that's
what
the
I'm saying? Where
yeah.
the elevation and you know the seas dip. Because touching the globe will help you understand, you know what I'm saying, a little bit, because they try to get it to a certain scale. So you could touch the globe and you can feel where like the oceans are lower. You know what I mean? And you can feel the mountains and you can feel, you know, the bumps.
Yeah. I think that would serve a great purpose. Like, I mean, because I want the real deal. Like, I mean, and I don't want one of these European, New Age European globes. I want one where they actually like the reality of what we're
It
dealing with, the
proper
sizes
scale,
and
proper
everything,
scale, because they like
the
the they.
scaling,
But usually the globes are pretty good. It'd be the maps that be distorted most of the time. The globes be pretty good most of the time. Because you could debunk
yeah.
the globe right away and be like, "Hey, this shit ain't right." So somebody gonna call them on their shit. So yeah, a globe is very useful. Everybody should have a globe in their house, I think. Um, what was I gonna say? Elevation. You know, because a lot of people don't really understand history. Because there's a part where it was like the Maroons and Haiti, and you know, the island has
The
mountains.
Maroons, the Maroons of Haiti, or the Maroons of here, the Floridas, the
Um,
Everglades.
it could, because maroon is that's how they got the term. It means originally, you know, it's a maroon community. It means a like a slave community or a black community that lives up in like some mountains. Basically, is what it means, like away from, like not easily accessible. So, like in the
Okay,
Haiti,
well,
the reason why I
I
mentioned
I
the reason
took
why I
that
mentioned
as
Haiti.
a that's another Moor that was somewhat Aboriginal, and because of the language, that's what they uh, because like there's so many different ways to say Moor, because Moor is an English word. Moro, maroon, like all of these are like different ways to talk about dark skinned people.
Yeah. So when you say
Yeah,
maroon,
so
it means a separated, you know, dark skinned people. You know what I mean? So, but I just mentioned the Haiti case, just, you know, because that's what I was studying recently. But there's many, you know, that's, you know, there's many examples in history where that kind of thing can happen, and sometimes it's already people that live up there, and it'd be like some of the people from away kind of went up there with them and lived with them. A lot of times, that's what how it goes.
well, and you got to think about the migration of people, because there's a lot of these tribes that, you know, you would say originated in one place, but you know, because of the different migrations, we got to really give the fact that everybody from that tribe may not have left. Uh, what the shit? What is it? Puerto Rico, or you know what? Because it was there were some Tainos, the Caribs, there like
and
some of
and
them like
and they said that they wiped all those people out too. You know, in the history books, that's what it says. Basically, all of the people,
yeah,
the original Carib people of the Caribbean, were all, basically exterminated, or and or mixed in with the peoples that were brought
or or
to the Caribbean.
or denationalized, like they were
Yeah,
given a
on
different
paper.
name. So
So,
it,
but the reason why I mentioned
yeah,
the topography of the globe related to this is because people can't understand history completely if you don't understand that you got these geographical formations, if you will, that make it difficult for people to move around. And therefore, some people decide, like that sense of security, you know what I mean? So they decide to go live there. You know what I mean? And you mentioned Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has I want to say Puerto Rico has like mountains and shit. I want to say
man,
they
say,
do.
bro,
I know Haiti
yeah,
does.
they do. Oh yeah, Haiti has some shit. I don't think Puerto Rico is that much difference. Like, I mean, you got to think like Puerto Rico, Haiti, Dominican Republic. Like, these are shared lands pretty much. Like, it's. I mean, uh, a lot of these places kind of run into each other. So I mean, it's kind of hard to get over there and know the difference of where you really,
Yeah,
where you really
and
are, except for the fact that the
the
borders.
names, and because a lot of these places were probably created the same way. You know what I mean? The way those islands, volcanic
Well, we still,
activity or whatever,
yeah, I mean, we're still
they
talking
have.
about the same people who were doing the colonizing that were in power. So I mean, the same way that they broke up Africa is the same way that they broke up.
And that is
They
so
did.
true. I know. I used to work with this chick at Home Depot who was from Saint Martinique. I want to say Saint
Hmm.
Martinique or Saint Lucia, one of those smaller islands in the lower Antilles, the lower part of the Caribbean, more closer to South America. Um,
Ask you this
and
here.
go ahead.
So, with the people being from South America, right? And they make them go. Why is it that they make them go through the shit they have to go through just to obtain citizenship?
Well, it's still different countries.
Well,
We're talking about America as, the continent, but you got different countries on top of the, that claim certain parts of the land. And then they have these artificial borders that I always be talking about, these fucking bullshit ass borders on the edges of their countries. And that's, each country has the right to make a decision on the laws related to people coming and going. I mean, I think that's fair.
Well, yeah, and I mean, because see, the difference between North America and South America, I mean, because really South America still is a lot like Africa or maybe even Asia. I know definitely like Africa because you have a president for every what we would consider a state or country. So, but for us, we have one president that covers this whole landmass. So, even though we have governors and uh, representatives or whatever from each state, if you would really turn the title for each governor into president, we'll kind of be back at how they have things going in South America, except that
gotcha.
there's still not one president at the top of the triangle that's supposed to be above all of it. So that's like the main big difference. There's no uh, one main government that that's collective for all of those countries.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
give me.
that's the main difference.
Let me make my point about the St. Lucia chick. She was telling me that You know, the people move like her mom is from one island, dad's from another island. You know what I mean? Cousin lives on another island. These people move from island to island within the Caribbean very commonly, and people who live in the Caribbean, it's very common for their even close relatives to be from another island. If that makes any sense, what I'm saying.
It makes it hard,
No,
or
I didn't say no. I didn't say nothing about it making hard. It was related to your comment earlier where you said how the colonizers came and broke everybody up and separated everyone. And I was saying that I had this chick that I used to work with at Home Depot, and I want to say Saint Lucia, one of those islands
or
she was
or
from.
Saint Martin. I would, yeah. Go
One of
ahead.
them, and like her mom was from one island and her dad was from like a whole nother island, like, and she had other close relatives that were from different islands. Basically, even though the colonizers come and, like I be saying, these borders are artificial, and they chop it up, you still see how
Hmm.
people, like I always say, what people been doing now is what they were doing back then. So like, basically forever. So back whenever the Europeans came and the colonization and whatever, you had niggas jumping from islands and had relatives on different islands within the Caribbean. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I feel like I'm rambling.
No, I get what you're saying. And it is really insane the more you think about it, because it's fine, you want to name all these different islands something different, but you know like I said, they did it because of um the ownership that took place through colonization. So very same people, because like I said, back then, like, these were the Caribs, the you know the Caribbean islands are all Caribs, but for whatever reasons, because of your, born on St. Thomas, you live under a different nationality title because
Yep, and it's
of the
all
new
messed up
name
because
of that
they,
area.
depending on if it was France, Portugal, Spain, whoever the hell it was, and those countries still have influences on those islands, and those people speak the languages from the colonizers. They probably use their currency and all that shit.
That's like in Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic, it used to be a part of Haiti, wasn't it? A part of Haiti, and then the
Well,
Spanish came,
Haiti and
and
Dominican Republican is the same island. It's Hispaniola. That's where freaking Christopher Columbus lost ass landed.
Hispaniola, yes, exactly.
yeah.
His lost
So
ass
that's what I'm
landed,
saying.
but it's
So
two. It's
and
two countries, but it's one island.
yeah, two countries, one island. But what I'm saying is they speak Spanish in Dominican Republic, and then Haiti they
Uh,
speak a whole different language.
Yeah,
no, I think the Dominican is French, right?
Now they speak Spanish over there in Dominican.
yeah. They speak Spanish.
Well,
I'm pretty sure
it
They,
it's
may be a
Spanish.
mixture of both.
Oh yeah, they got multiple languages they speak. Because they were. I think they at one time. I don't know if it was France, but I know it was another country other than Spain that had them for a time. So yeah, Dominican Republic went back and forth. So Dominican
Because
Republic and
it's a
Haiti's
lot. It's
history
a
is,
lot like what happened in Louisiana. It's a lot like what happened in
well,
Louisiana
Haiti
because
and Louisiana has a special connection, and I be trying to say that all the time. And I think they're pretty much the same people.
we are.
didn't the Haitians get taken into slavery in Louisiana? A lot of them were
Well,
brought over from Haiti to
well,
Louisiana.
no. The thing is, it was the same country. So, fucking, what's that nigga name? Got his ass kicked. Napoleon.
Oh,
Napoleon.
yeah. That sounds a real stupid
Napoleon got
saying
his
that
ass
shit. I
kicked
don't
by
know why I'm thinking that.
The Haitians, and that's the whole reason why the Louisiana Purchase even happened. So, like, you got to understand how all these histories are intertwined. But the country, Napoleon's country, France, they was over Haiti, that part of the island, and they had this huge swath over here in the United States. And Louisiana extended up all the way to fucking like Michigan and shit, right? Into Canada. Yeah, into Canada.
Well, no, no, it didn't go into Canada. Um, Based on the old maps, a lot of the Louisiana Purchase was like, okay, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri,
Because those weren't states at the
and
time.
over.
Yeah, this was
No, it
just
was one big ass country.
wilderness.
It was pretty much one big ass country. Louisiana was like its own country.
Yeah, it was so huge. I want to say it went into Canada. I don't want to look it up, but
No,
I want to say
it went
it,
up. It went up into like Montana and like to some of the northern states. I don't think it was into Canada. Um,
but we
but
could
I know it went
agree
as
it was a
far west as
huge,
like Wyoming and
it
Utah
was
and
a
like stuff like that.
huge chunk of what we call the United States today. And so, and France was owning it. And the thing is, at this time, like, okay, so United States was, what was it, east of the Mason-Dixon line or whatever the fuck. Um, and so France owned this territory, but they didn't have a bunch of French people over here. You know what I'm saying? They just like claim, how they do. We this our shit now or whatever. So a lot of the people that lived here or whatever probably didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't even. Oh, I'm not even aware of this. So we're France now. Okay, but
Well,
they did
well, and
have traders. They came here. They did a lot of trapping, fox furs or whatever the hell. They had industries related to that. And so they came through a lot, and that's where the language, you know what I'm saying, the and
the
that's
the
why
people
even
we
in
call
Louisiana to this
Cajuns.
day, the patois, whatever you want to call it, and what do you call it, in the Creole or whatever, and they speak, it's similar
Yeah,
in
well, I
Haiti.
say Cajun. I say Cajun a lot of times, but yeah, the Creole would be the better terminology for it.
Yes.
Because
So
it was a mixture of
of
like I
the
mean it was
languages,
like
multiple
people
languages, the
yeah,
native tongues mixed with French,
Spanish, French,
mixed with,
and English.
yeah. And so the thing
Yeah.
is how black people, and then they call it ebonics, how black people change up the language, like, because like I say, influenced by their culture, their native tongues. That's why, and like, so like the language that the Haitians speak, it's like considered like a dirty language to others. Like, it makes you dirty just to even speak the language. Like, they have a huge, I'm so serious, they have a huge hate for it. So it's like, you're dirty if you speak that language. You're speaking that dirty language, dirty people language, because it was like created, you know, and it's kind of disrespectful to the native languages, the European languages, the Latin languages, because it's spoken so differently. The ebonics, I mean, not the ebonics, the phonics of it. So yeah, they really hate it. Um, and
What is
Haitians
this
are,
other shit that you hear a lot of people in Louisiana speaking uh, be- beyond the French or Creole or whatever they call it? You hear, like, growing up when I stayed there, I stayed with family there, if they wasn't really, if they wasn't speaking the Creole, they would speak in another term that us as kids didn't understand, which was like pig Latin or some shit like that. What is that?
nah,
Well,
people called it pig Latin, but it wasn't. It's like a patois too. Like, see, because it's multiple languages,
it's a patois.
a
Yeah,
different mix. It's a different mix of the languages, if you will.
A-
You know what
and
I'm saying?
yeah, it's pretty much that you would really consider that dialect because
Dialect.
it
That's the way you
was
say it,
you
right?
know they yeah, they would actually use. I mean, it's no different languages. It's just that the way that you would say it would be unrecognizable by a foreigner or someone outside of that, um, you know,
I got
that community.
I got cousins that live in the country in Riverside, Texas, and they speak English. And sometimes when they talking, I don't understand what the hell they saying.
Well, but one of the things that I guess that sums up, because I mean, really the main language that all of these languages come from is Arabic, and that's like, I mean, a lot of it is broken off and
But I
used
think it's
really from.
you're right, but I think it's important to focus on like why, like the history, the reason why, like I say, the connection between Haiti and Louisiana, and the Creole thing, and the French thing, and like people don't even really understand. Even though the United States kept on going from sea to shining sea, manifest destiny. Those people A lot of those people were there before the United States went west and after. You get what I'm saying? Like, like we know y'all. Both of y'all know being from Louisiana, it's niggas up in them swamps that don't nobody really fuck with. You know what I mean? Like we don't know who those people are. You know what I mean?
Hell nah.
So
I
what I
shoot,
mean
I was
is
driving through some parts of Louisiana, and I'm like, how does this person even connect with anybody? Because that, like, some of them
they
still
are
like they
different.
got these boat houses.
They still live out there on the swamps. Like it's some people that still live out there like that. That's some crazy shit. They're
Yeah,
different people. And, not to knock anybody's lifestyle because they probably live better than us. But what I'm saying is, when the United States was going west, they didn't go bother them people. They're not fin to. They can't. They can't even get through the swamp to go talk to them or nothing. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, before the United States was the United States, those people were out there. And after the United States became the United States, those people were still out there. Same people, speaking the same languages,
yeah,
living the same way. And a lot of it was because France was over here for a good amount of time, enough time to have a huge
but
influence, through those people.
what? Well, and see, and that's the thing. Like the trade
That's
that
what happened.
existed for thousands of years,
That's
because
how it happened.
of course, English was really developed as a trade language. So really, English was like, only if you know, I guess if you spoke Spanish, you understood English. If you spoke French, you understood, a little English, and you could communicate with people, and some. I mean, because especially when you're talking about dealing with Moors, Moors knew all of those languages. They probably, for the most part, then knew
And,
4 or 5 different languages.
they even knew these
You know,
native languages. You know, um,
some yeah,
that shit is
And I,
crazy.
so,
I
because
struggle with,
a lot of the
oh, I'm
native,
sorry.
a lot of the no, my bad. So a lot of the native languages was considered Hebrew. So, that's the part that, a lot of them knew that too, because I mean, these Moors, I mean, a lot of them are, some of the Moors were just people who transversed the world more than others. They
Right.
the same people,
They didn't already
but they got
been
around the world. They got around
have
the world more
relationships
than.
with these people, and that's another reason why they knew the languages. Because even in our historical books, the stuff that they make us learn, when the Europeans came over here, they couldn't communicate because the languages are so different. The native languages are so different. But they used Moors as translators, people that they called Moors.
Yeah, because I
That's
mean,
crazy.
because based on my understanding of moor, is some mooring is when somebody when they see somebody bringing a boat into land or to tie they're tying off the boats or whatever. That was mooring. So that's how a lot of times, like they got some, but these were the people who were transversing, that was traversing
So
the world.
right. So a lot of
So
that was multicultural too. Like when we be saying, because you know, the for the most part the Moors were black, but not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? As far as the what we're talking about is the trade, right? And so they had a flag and they had an identity, right, with the fezzes and so forth and so on. So they were known to be fair with trading. So when like you say, when you see them hit the bank, they're coming, to do trade, in a fair way, and people already know them for that. But for people to know because you never seen these people before, you haven't seen them in months, or you're new to the business or whatever the hell, but they're already known by their mannerisms, the way they dress, probably their ships, the way the ships look, stuff like that. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, and and some people will actually might have identified them as pirates, just depending on who they're dealing with at the time, because shoot, they might have been, especially after a certain period of time, because they wanted, if you were using their seas. Uh-oh, did we lose? Looks like we lost. Looked like we might have lost Chaka for a second, but
Yeah.
they were also considered to be pirates to a certain extent.
Okay.
Wow. That's crazy.
Because they was on both sides. This is another thing I always try to get black people to understand. Because black people like to always feel like they were either like the victim or like the persecuted one or whatever. They were slaves, or even no matter how they look at it, they're always looking at it on one side. And I'm saying, don't forget, we was on in all transactions, we was on both sides.
Look, just like they got people like black people who were killers, they'll kill their own people. Like, I don't think none of it has ever changed. Like now, like there's
Because we're
machine guns,
tribal.
and
We're
yeah,
kind of
like I
tribal naturally, I think. I think humans are naturally tribal, and we naturally kind of form tribes, and we naturally form these kind of like rivalries between tribes. I think that's a natural thing that happens. So, Nick,
yeah.
that's what a lot of people don't understand, because just like in Africa, we talk about Africa so that it'll stay simple. People try different tribes from the south don't know nothing about these tribes from the north. Them is the other niggas. Like, we don't know how they live. We don't know, we don't know about them niggas. You know what I mean? We don't really
Yeah.
fuck with them niggas like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
And
no, it's more like, okay, well, who is these niggas? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you don't interact with them until there's a necessity to interact. You realize that these people are here, and you
like,
find
who
out,
the
oh
fuck are
wow,
these niggas?
that yeah, there's some new ivory thing that's going around with. Oh, wait a minute, so I got to get that from these people or whatever. Maybe you find somebody who can mediate that purchase or sale for you, or if they can't, then if you really want it, you figure out, okay, well, let me see if I can connect with one of these cats, and see if
and,
I
and
can
that's
conjure up a deal.
And that's what I don't think people understand, because these people have different languages, different ethnicities. Some of they're tall. The ones from the north might be tall. The people from the south might be short. Like, they're totally different. And so, like, Europeans like to look at everybody, like I said before, and put everybody in a damn group and call them all African and shit. and the Africans don't even see themselves that way. You know what I mean? Like we different people from them people over there. Like, please don't put us in the them the other niggas. Them other niggas, we don't really fuck with them. So
Yeah.
like what I'm trying to say is historically all the events that has happened, like we're talking about Moors and we're talking about after during the time where United States was expanding westward. So I I can't argue with the idea of some of the Moors being, balanced and fair, and some of them stealing stuff and actually literally being pirates.
Yeah. But some because I mean I think a lot of it had something to do with the fact that because of the power exchanges that was happening
And I think that's the
during that
reason
time.
why. I swear, and I keep saying this is just my fucking opinion, but I feel like the Moors gave the United States to these pilgrims or whatever you want to call them. And I think it was because they were having a conflict within themselves. They were having a
They
conflict
were.
with each with themselves, and like a kind of like a civil war type deal. And so one side was fucking with these Europeans or whatever. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
well, I mean, you got to look at it like this, because for somebody, for some people, regardless of who they are, for some people that has been running trade along certain waterways or certain states or countries or whatever that they've been dealing with, and then because of these different wars that's happened that somebody say they won or whatever, and there's others that's like, I mean, I don't give a shit about that. I'm still going to do what I've
Yeah,
been doing, and they'll still try to collect money because it's like, wait a minute, hold on, who told you you could do business with these people? No, you owe
right.
us money because this is so. Like, these things kept going on because those invisible jurisdictions that has been these new jurisdictions that's being created are not being respected by people who had already been doing, you know, been running their business or trade the way they've been doing for who knows how
And,
long.
and that makes sense because like I say, history repeats itself. Everything is a circle because the United States did the same thing to the native peoples, like not respecting their jurisdictions, not
Hmm.
respecting their prior, you know, whatevers, and just coming in and saying that no, this is like, oh, y'all call this Wakanaka Waka? No, this is Montana. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the people there like what? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Montana. What the fuck is a Montana? You know what I'm saying? So, and that's, yeah, I would say that is a good scenario, a good way to explain it. Because I mean, and that's the thing. Like, all those fights or those disputes was based on, or new developments that was happening legally on paper, that somebody actually now has the right to try to, because whether it was sold off by some more somewhere, and then the people who are actually dealing with, because I mean, that a lot of the
I
land
I
was
would
sold
love to.
along the eastern seaboard that
I
was.
would love to see some of those records. I bet you they're floating around out there somewhere. And like I told y'all, I was just doing a real estate thing, and they said all real estate goes back to the United States government. So like the original owner, you know how like you trace deeds back, and they have a real strict procedure when it comes to the deeds because right when you're buying a property, you have to have a clear deed. Is you right? So like I say, the deed always goes back to the prior owner. And so you can trace all deeds back to the United States as the first owner, which is some crazy shit when you think about it. Because what about the people that was here before that? Like, hey, so what about before? Can we trace the deed to before the United States government? It really hasn't been
I,
here that long.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure you can. There's a lot of records that
That,
existed
that's what I'm.
before,
That's my
um,
point.
and that's in the Library of Congress.
I would
That's
love
where
to see it. I need
like
to. I
it,
need to look at some shit like
and
that.
then like there's a lot of it in DC. But if you really want to go back to even before that, I think you have to go to Philadelphia.
Man, it'll be a great. That's something I need to do. I need to plan a trip because I love maps anyway, and I be saying this all the time. A lot of things people wouldn't really understand until they look at maps.
There's
I mean,
there's some stuff all over the country, really, because like there's a museum in Missouri. I had to find out exactly what's. I think it might be Kansas City, but just in the museum shows some maps of what
well,
the United States looked like in different
I,
buildings, like the utopia that America was
it really
before.
was. I really think it was. It was because they even said it in the historical documents. But that show I mentioned before, it was on HBO Max. I don't know if it's still there, but it's called Exterminate the Brutes. Um, in that show, he showed a map how, and it was like a time. He had like a time lapse going that showed how like the different tribes that were here, where the United States is now, all the way across from East Coast to West Coast, and then it just shows it trickling away, and it show at the bottom it shows the timeline of the years that was going by as the United States was kind of going west, and the names of what the states are now appearing over the top of the tribes that were in these different areas.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of Texas, didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the Louisiana Purchase, because honestly, like, the Louisiana Purchase, it was considered like that name came about, I guess, in the 1700s or whatever. As far as like, um, what you the the Louisiana Purchase, but a lot of that was Washita. That was like still, when it was still considered Indian land, that a lot of that stuff was considered Washita.
And that's
Uh,
what I'm saying. Even when France was over here, even when you go back further, the native peoples didn't know nothing about that shit. You know what I'm saying? France
yeah,
is like,
because
oh yeah, this is France. Them
well
niggas was
that
still doing what they was doing before and living the same way they was living before. Like
well,
every
and you
now
see,
and then, some
and
white folks
but
will come through and then be like, "What the fuck is they doing?"
well,
And,
see,
and
and that's one of the things that I think a lot of people miss with some of the documents that was written back in the 1500s, maybe late 1400s, but it was the doctrine of discovery, just like what they used for Christopher Columbus discovering America was based on an idea that they started in Europe, and that's what Europe was using to go and make claim to all of these new places. I mean,
right,
places that they just are just now learning about. So
so crazy. God gave me the right. God said, this land is ours. And that's the same. I want people to really draw parallels to the way the United States expanded to the West and dealt with the natives and what Israel is doing to this day, from the River Jordan to the sea or whatever, because they have a lot of the same sayings that the United States was saying while they were doing it. Everything happens over time. That's what people have to understand. And on the maps now, they don't even show Palestine on the map. It's just Israel.
yeah,
That shit crazy, bro. Palestine still exists. Those people still live there. They still consider themselves a country and everything. You know what I'm saying? They have houses, they
they
have
are a
family.
nation. They are a nation. Actually, they are. Legally, they are still a nation. But that's
They're-
how maps can confuse people that live right now to today, and they know Palestine is there, but there's no like, oh well, hey, we
because
can't. we can't forget Palestine. I mean,
Because
they're
the thing is, it's a political thing. A nation is always a political thing, and it's always related to who recognizes it. So people are it's the power of Israel with their military and so forth, and their pressure and their money. They, put pressure on these other countries to be like, no, man, don't recognize them as no country. You know what I'm saying? They're not no country because they don't want, they need others to not recognize Palestine as a country because they want Israel to be from the river Jordan to the sea.
yeah.
And it's been expanding. And what they do is just like here, just like in America, settler colonialism. It's where you just, like I say, okay, now this is whatever. This is Montana, whatever the fuck, right? And then you tell the white folks generally, hey, this is Montana now. Y'all can go move there, go build a house or whatever. We'll even build a house for you. And a lot of this was paid for. Like, that's another part that people really just, I mean, the founding fathers were all fucking land speculators and real estate people. Owning real estate, and they gave like I say, they would even build a house for them. They doing that right now in Israel. Okay, so if you can prove that I think it's your grandparent was somehow, whatever it is, Jewish, Orthodox Jew, whatever the hell it is, there's a speculation, but it's really loose. If you can prove that, then you can move to Israel and they'll give you a home and they'll give you money every month.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they give you money indefinitely. It's like it's the return home thing or whatever. It's like, because in the Bible it says Israel, you're supposed to go back to Israel and it's supposed to be in between the River Jordan and all of this stuff. So that's where they get that from. And so because of what happened with Hitler, so they was like, we need a place that Jewish people can be safe in the world. So we need Israel. So they basically created this shit. You know what I'm saying? And Palestine was there before, but now it's turning into Israel. Just like the United States, sat right on top of the organized tribes that was here.
Yep.
By doing the settler colonialism, because they do it every little piece at a time, one house at a time. And see, that's how they win too, because the Native Americans was like, what the fuck is going on? How many of them is coming? Like, I've read some books about this, and they were like, they just keep coming. Like, it's an unlimited supply of them. like it's more of them, like they keep coming. That's what the natives were saying. That Red Cloud said that. They just keep coming. So that's how they take over, by just building a house like in your backyard. And then you're like, what the fuck? What are you doing here? Like, and then they're like, this is my house. It was given to me by the United States government. You're like, what the fuck, nigga? I've been living here for thousands of years. Get the fuck out of here. And then that's the cowboys and Indians that we're taught about in the the Westerns, and it's always shown from the European point of view. But that whole thing was the drama of settler colonialism, them setting up their house in somebody else's backyard, and somebody else talking about, nah, fuck that shit. So that's the war that was happening. You know what I mean? People getting killed, both sides, so that's just what it was. Like, no, y'all not finna come keep living over here. We've been here for thousands of years. The fuck? We off that. So, but from the European point of view, we watch the cowboy movies and they're like, oh, these Indians keep raiding our village. Nigga, y'all niggas just moved into my backyard, bro. Where the fuck did y'all come from? Like, y'all not supposed to be here at all. So of course they gonna react that way. Like, that's a way a rational human being would react to somebody setting up a camp in their backyard. Of course they finna come through.
And you disturb my shower. You know, I was walking around here naked, taking a bath, and here you come trying to drive uh hundreds of cattle through my property.
Yeah, eating up all my fucking. Because that's another thing they didn't understand. They didn't understand the gardens. They thought they were wild, and that is a thing. You know, people got to understand about the cattle too. That's important. I'm glad you mentioned that because you know the Europeans they didn't like buffalo. Like they don't really like deer, even though you see them hunting it and shit. They don't like gamey meats like that, and it's because of their evolution. They were the ones who was you know they on that domesticated meat shit for a long time and drinking milk and shit. That's the reason why they can drink milk and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because most people of color have a hard time
Dairy.
digesting milk. Yeah, and so the thing is, they like cows. You know what I'm saying? They like to eat cows. That's the kind of shit they was on. The natives was not on that shit. We didn't even have cows over here. We didn't even have cattle over here at all. We didn't have horses either
But
until later. The horses came with the Spaniards and shit. So we ate, you
but
know,
you
wild
you see how they
game.
doing them now, though, huh?
What do you mean?
But it's no, I was just saying, like, it's like, all right, like I'm like listening to you guys and what y'all are talking about, and it's just it's like for me, it's coming full circle to see how, like, all right, the European came over and they totally destroyed the natives, right? And now you look at how the same people who came over and destroyed, the natives and took all of their land, and now all of these Europeans that have had all of this land and their family for years, land that they have stolen, claimed rights to, and this and that. Now their own people is coming back and stealing their land, pretty much taking the land from them. And if they're not, they offer them a price, and if they don't give it up, then they're coming in and they're taking. What do they call that? I forget what they call that. Where they just come in and they're just taking the land from them, dude, and killing
Uh,
them. Like, look at that big old rancher. The guy, he
It's
was like
called
a
stealing.
famous rancher.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
it was,
government
it
calls
was,
it eminent domain.
yeah, and
But
that's what I was trying to think of, eminent
yeah,
domain. Look at that one rancher that they killed a few years ago, man. Chased him all through his property, bro, and they killed him on his own property. Like, killed him because he would not give up his land
there's a
and
lot of
refused to sell
stories.
it to him.
You know, a lot of the lynching was that the leader in the community, the business owner, the landowner guy. That's who they lynched. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, and then they would tell the family, "Get the fuck out, or y'all gonna die." And they would just leave their property, and then they would compensate it. That was happening all the way up until like the 50s and 60s.
Yeah. So I mean, they're doing it like, it was like they had that reign where they stole all this land from people, from the natives, took it all, and these folks have had this land passed down through their family for generations, upon generations, and now the Europeans, the same people who stole that fucking land, is now coming back and stealing it from their own people. And if you don't give it up, you're dead. Pretty much, they're gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? And they know most people that live in rural America like that with all that kind of land. Like, dude, you look at Yellowstone, this dude got tons of guns out there. You know
And
what I'm saying? Like,
it's
they
so
know you're
sad.
armed. They know you're armed, so they're gonna come out there with a full-on SWAT.
It's
You
so
know,
sad. It's
bro,
so sad. It's so
it's
sad. And,
crazy.
and and I know niggas own lots and lots and lots of property, man. Lots and
Man,
lots and lots
dude,
of property.
I know some guys out here that drive trucks that live up in like Montana and Idaho and parts of Wyoming, dude, that have, I mean, thousands of acres of land, thousands of land that's in their family. You know what I'm saying?
I think it, I think
Thousands upon thousands of
I
acres of land, and
I
they're like,
think a lot of I think a lot of black people would have a bunch of land in their family to this day if it wasn't for some of the things that happened in history. A lot, just like the paper genocide Pat's talking about, that happened with the deeds and stuff. They would be like, no, this deed is not valid. There's a discrepancy on the deed or something. Like, no, you need to produce a value a viable deed, or we're gonna confiscate your property. That kind of shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't always a lynching. You know what I mean? It wasn't always extreme as that. They did it in multiple ways.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, you know. Just how all of this is taking place, you know. And they're, like right now, the people that land on, because like the government knows, they know the land that's plentiful, and the land that's not so plentiful, those people, they still pretty much have their land, but the land that's plentiful, oh, you're going to give it up. We're
Oh
going to
yeah,
give you what we think is worth.
and
Oh, you're not going to give it up? Oh, we just going to take it.
it's still like
We're
that.
going to move in on you.
It's still like that to this day, and today they do it through the corporations, and they do it around the world. As soon as they find something valuable, the native peoples are like, oh, they're just a bunch of dumbasses. So I mean, not the native peoples are saying this. I'm saying usually these European countries are looking at the native peoples like they're dumbasses. They don't even know what they're sitting on. We're finna come over here and tell them some old bullshit, and then we're gonna extract the resources.
Yeah.
Period. And if they push against us, we're gonna fucking blow their shit up. They're either gonna comply or they're gonna get their shit blown up. Y'all know about the banana wars. I be bringing that shit up all the time. It's a very interesting history that people should understand related to Guatemala and Honduras and even parts of the Caribbean where these people were growing these bananas and they had their local owned companies doing this stuff, and like these big corporations was like, nah, we're not feeling that. We're not feeling the local people owning these banana plantations. So yeah, no, they ours now or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Y'all work for us now, and that's what it is. And niggas wasn't feeling that shit. It was whole ass wars, multiple wars that broke out that had to do with the local people fighting against these private corporate. Well, the private corporations weren't the ones that was fighting, but they were the ones that was sending the fucking. It's always independent contractors. You know what I'm saying? Military, army types. You know what I'm saying? That's it, and they're working on behest of the corporation, and fighting these local people, and they're gonna win. They got more bullets and more fucking everything. So I mean, sometimes the people put up a fight for a while, but after a while they lose.
Yeah. 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 And I think that's why, you have America trying to build all of these different relationships with all of these, with these different countries, and having allies with these other countries' military, because they know at the end of the day, when they finally, what I'm saying, rip the band-aid off of the shit that they're truly trying to do, that the people here are not gonna go for that. And they know that their own military is not gonna fight against the citizens of this country. So they have to have friendships and relationships with other countries, and it's crazy because they're building relationships with other countries that fucking hate America, but they're building relationships with them and their military, and that's who's gonna come over here and fucking kill us all. Either we comply or we're gonna die. And it's not gonna be out. It's gonna be some fucking, Russian Russian militia, Russian military that's gonna, or Chinese or whatever the fuck, that's gonna take us out, bro.
That's what I be
Like
talking about. Like
that's
the
what the
mercy.
fuck.
That's
That's
why
what the fuck.
money can't be everything, because you got these mercenaries, right? You got people that, like I say, the private contractors military type niggas, and they're for hire, guns for hire, basically. So you got a corporation, you got a bunch of money, you get a bunch of these niggas, you got a whole ass army, and these niggas is they don't, all they care about is the money. They're getting paid, and then they'll send these niggas wherever. You know what I'm saying? To fuck up whoever. What are you gonna do against that? Niggas think they hard. They got all these bullets in their bunker. Nigga, some trained special op type niggas come, you know what I'm saying, geared up, booted and suited. Nigga, you're not finna handle that. You're gonna lose. You might hold out for a while, but you're not gonna win.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. You know, and you think about it, like you think about it. Like I don't know how other countries operate, but I know it here in America. You know, so you can say, "Oh, I own this land. It's paid for. I own the deeds to it," but you don't actually own that land.
Right.
You never fully own it. You're always paying taxes on your land. Why do I need to pay taxes on my land?
The U.S. government always has like a take, like they don't, like you don't own it outright. It's the U.S. government has like a portion. A lot of people don't understand that stuff. It goes deep because depending on the contract, depending on the deeds that you signed, you know, you may not have rights to subsurface rights. You know what I'm saying? Or you might not have your aerial rights, like the area above the land, stuff like that. All that shit is important. And like if you and your wife, y'all start thinking about buying a house, man, I'll chop it up with you. And I got some books too, so I can. I really should be taking my damn test to get my license, but I don't know what the fuck I've been doing. I've been dragging my ass. But anyways, if y'all decide to buy a house, man, I can at the very least give y'all some information, you know, because once I went through my class, I realized how bad I got fucked when I bought my house, because I was in class, I was telling them some of the stuff, you know, from the closing on my house, and then they was telling me how I got fucked.
That shit crazy, bro.
They make you sign all them papers. I remember the closing of my house. We was signing papers for over an hour, I would say. That's literally just page after page signing. Like, ain't no way in hell nobody is finna fucking, like, they give you a brief little overview of it. It's a person there, and then they be like, okay, this page says such and such and such and such and such, da 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 da, sign here. This page says such and such and such, da 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 da, sign here. Flipping through. This page says da 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 da, such and such, sign here. Initial date. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody is so much information. No one knows what the fuck they're even talking about too, because they be talking in that damn legalese language and shit. Real estate. Once I took the class,
what would be crazy, bro? You need to have your own fucking real estate attorney come to you at fucking closing of your shit. They'll probably be like, no, why did you bring an attorney? You don't need an attorney. It's closing. Now, fuck that. I need my attorney to read over this shit.
Yeah, that would be a good way to do it. That would be good as fuck. That would be good. But see, you would have to have time. You would need your, like, so see, the problem with that is closing is always on a time schedule. And you can lose that closing. You know what I'm saying? So they always have you anxious. They always have you on the edge because, you know, the house can be bought out. If you haven't closed on the house yet, you know, that you haven't closed on the house yet. You know what I'm saying? It's not yours. You haven't got it. You know what I mean? You haven't bought it. Something could happen. You get what I'm saying? Something could happen in the deal where you end up not getting the house. If you haven't got those keys yet, you know what I'm saying? Something could happen, and you don't get the house. Somebody else might get it. A corporation might buy it right off from under you or some shit. So what I'm saying is the problem with what you're saying is that the lawyer is gonna need some time. Because like I say, this is a fucking we was signing for an hour. This is a lot of information. The lawyer would need time to read over that shit. So he would need those documents probably before closing, before the date that y'all plan on closing. He would probably need those documents so that he can have time to read over them. It's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, y'all, I'm probably gonna wrap it. It's 5:30 in the morning, bro. I got started late because I got in a damn rainstorm, but I still got to do the show. I think it was pretty okay. We're at like 3 hours. We talk about some history and religion and stuff. And like I say, all praise is due to the Most High. I do believe in God, y'all. I just, Deuce, you didn't really say much about that when we was talking about religion earlier and how like people use the middleman of Jesus or whatever.
I wasn't in here for that, bro. I didn't even know y'all were
You
talking
wasn't
about
here?
that.
Oh, you wasn't here.
Nah,
We're talking about the ancestors and how people I believe that our native religions was us kind of like giving praises. Well, of course we give praises to the creator, but our ancestors, the ones that were actually alive, you know what I'm saying? And they do that in other parts of the world. Marcus Garvey, Selassie, Fidel Castro, Gaddafi, even Patrice Lumumba. These are the ones that they like mention their name and like just giving praises to the ancestors. Giving thanks to them. Maybe even doing rituals where you put out like their favorite drink or food or whatever. It's a spiritual thing, and then people want to call it, I don't know, voodoo or magic or Satanism or even paganism or whatever. Because different, like in Asia, all around the world, they have different ways of doing this pretty much same thing with the incense and the tones, the bells, leaving out food and drink. Have you ever heard of any of that stuff? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I've never really
I know
heard
you
of
have, Pat.
that people doing something specific like that, but I do recall being like a kid and have like there's like my this one lady who I used to live with, you know, every year she would celebrate her mom's birthday and she would make her mom's favorite cake and her mom's favorite dish, and cook that like in remembrance of her mom. You know what I'm saying? And she would invite everybody over because that's what her mom would like to do. Would like invite everybody out for like a big old cookout. And it'd be a full on party. So she would do that every year, without fail, for her mom, celebrating her mom. So I've heard of people doing that. I've heard of people making like their loved one's favorite dish, during like holiday times. But as far as somebody doing like what you're doing, I guess that could be the same thing.
What is it? I forget what it's called, but like I have a room set up in their house with a bunch of candles. Well, shit, what is it? Damn, I can't think of the right terminology for it right now. But like, they it's they damn. Why can't I think of the name of it? But like, they'll take candles, they'll take different things that might help remember, certain people. Damn, this is horrible. Like, as
I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah,
yeah,
I've heard of that. I've heard of that. Which I don't know the name. I was gonna say meditation or some shit.
Well, I mean that's a part of, yeah, that might be a part of their meditation, but
It's rituals related to, their ancestors, and they burn incense, or, like I say, the bells. It's about the vibrations, smells, odors, scents,
yes,
um, related to, uh, their literal ancestors, people that were alive, like. And like I say, literally putting like maybe their favorite fruit out, or maybe putting some fruit out. And this is also what like they do when it comes to like the seances or whatever you want to call them. It's the same thing, but these people are looking for like a spirit, like an entity, not necessarily, an ancestor.
I
yeah.
got you. I got you. Yeah.
But
Man. Go ahead. I'm sorry, guys.
I was just gonna say the ancestors are the ones that we should be giving thanks to. They're the reason why we're here. We
Yeah.
wouldn't even
Yeah.
we wouldn't
Definitely.
your parents, your grandparents,
Specifically, yeah, like
your great grandparents, they had sex and they made a baby. That baby grew up and had sex and made a baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have to think about, you have trials and tribulations in your life, things that you go through to make it through, so what you got to do for your kids, so forth and so on, to make sure that they have a good life. You know that they had to do that too, all of your
Yeah.
ancestors, and as
Yeah.
far back as you can go, as far back as you want to go, they had to
Bro.
struggle, stay alive, find food and take care of their kids. And if they hadn't have done that, you wouldn't be here, because there's a direct
Yeah.
line between you and your ancestors.
Yeah. Man, I wonder if that genealogy, if it's something that has evolved to go back that far, because it's funny that you mentioned like the going back to this and this and that. And it's like, man, like I think about that. Like I think about, okay, my mom. Well, my mom's mom had to have her. My mom's mom had. It's like you go. It's like, damn, where does it ever end? Or does it really ever end? Because you think about like, damn, how far back does this actually go? Even
Well,
with my dad, like, how
I,
far back
I
does it
think
go?
I think we should
Like,
think about that, because it's amazing. It's amazing that we're here. It's amazing that we're able to talk. We got Deuce, Curtis, Pat. We're all here in the universe at the same time. We're able to talk to each other, but we have different lineages, and our ancestors had to stay alive, find enough food, find a mate. They were
but
successful.
let me ask you this here: what if we are? Because I truly believe that when you die, you're reborn. And what if our answer? What if we are actually our ancestors in today's time?
Well, we are in a
we
Because
are.
way.
if you think about it, because it's like, okay, to think about how far back. Well, if our lineage dates that far back, then it's like that would be before you think about it. It's like, okay, well, damn, was that around the time the universe was created that my lineage started, or was so? It's
Wow.
like, okay, well, you know, okay, what if the person who went through every fucking thing that we're sitting here talking about and that we study so hard in history and go down these rabbit holes, what if we're actually that person today? You
And
know what I'm saying?
that's a deep thought, and I think that's you're going down a good road of thought. Um, but I think that we have to understand that, we are, but we aren't. You know what I'm saying? We're a variation of them. Um,
Yeah,
that
I get why you would say that, because us in this day's time, there's no fucking way that we could ever be as strong as they were. They were some super strong people. We don't have the fucking nuts that the women and the men had back then.
I would agree
You
with you
know
on
what I'm
that.
saying? Like we are not in this world today. We are nowhere near as strong as those people.
We're pussy
You know.
fighters, all of us.
Yeah, we are definitely we got some pussy in us for real.
And soft
Like,
as fuck. If you know what I'm saying, if the AC went out, if the electricity went out and shit, we're all fucked. Half of us don't even know how to slaughter an animal or grow some food.
hell nah, I don't know how to slaughter one, but I damn sure know how to cook one that's already slaughtered.
Yeah, and much less go catch it and
Hell
kill
yeah.
it.
Bro, I couldn't even fathom putting my hands on a live chicken unless that bitch is a baby, a little baby. But to go get a full grown chicken or chase a rooster or some shit and have this motherfucker pecking me and flapping his hell
Yeah,
no, nah.
yeah. Try a deer that's like a ghost. Like now you see me, now you don't. Or any wild animal is not gonna be easy to catch. Even fishing, takes skill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's just it's crazy, bro. Like I literally think about that, man. I mean, I don't even know if I make sense for what I'm saying, but
But you are making sense. But what I want people to understand is your DNA. Your DNA is gonna be passed down. That's what your genetics. That's what your ancestor left you, and it has memory. I believe that
yeah,
the DNA is memory. So those experiences of your ancestors are there. You know what I'm saying? So they're there, and they're a part of you. Also, their DNA, their freaking literal like chromosomes and shit is there. So,
yeah,
but we're not the same because that's how life continues forever. You know what I'm saying? It has to regenerate. It has to come to an end. It has to have a cycle.
yeah, yeah,
So our
yeah,
life cycle is the way life gets to go on forever. And that's the way
yeah,
our DNA and our ancestors get to live forever. As
yeah,
long as our line continues to be successful.
yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, no, that makes a whole lot, dude. Yeah, that's like spot on. And that's what like it'll be cool to like. I think it would be cool to go down that whole rabbit hole of because that's just like the ancestry and what is it? My tree, whatever, my
Oh,
tree, something tree.
yeah.
You know that's genealogy. That has evolved. You know, like them
I,
coming out with that. The lady and her husband who created that came out with that is has been able to solve so many unsolved murders and homicide, whatever you want. Like, but I just want to have it evolve to the point to be able to go back that far to
yeah,
find out who you actually are.
because even the technology that they have, it's not that reliable with the genealogy as far as because they be all over the place with that shit. I went down a rabbit hole on that because I thought about doing it. I still think it would be a cool thing to do the ancestry.com or something like that. I think it would be fun to do regardless, but you have to take your results with a grain of salt because they are all over the place with that shit. Like, it's not very accurate, basically.
I got you.
So,
I
like
got you.
records are really good. You can look at the records as far back as you can go. Those are really really good way to get some good stuff, but that's not going to go back. That's only going to go back for a lot of us. It's it may not go back past slavery.
Yeah.
So that's where the problems come in. But I mean, I think that they can give you an idea. But the thing is, like all of us, I mean, like I say, man, that thing is it's not very good. I wouldn't. They say you're like they like to say everybody is from fucking Ghana. You're,
Yeah.
I don't know, 45% Ghanaian, 35% European, and 10% Nigerian or some shit like that. And it's like, come on, bro, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Get the
because I
fuck.
mean, yeah,
Cause when you go back to those times, there wasn't no Ghana, there wasn't no Nigeria like that. You know, you had Bantu peoples. You know what I mean?
okay, got
Yeah.
you, yeah,
So and like I was saying about it's the same thing with the countries, the way they're drawn up and stuff. These regions had regions of peoples, and that's what made up the nation. And it wasn't Nigeria, and it wasn't like Ghana. You know what I'm saying? It was like the Bantu. It was like the Zulu. Or whatever. That's the nation. The nation was the people, and they inhabited
yeah,
a certain particular area or territory.
yeah. Man, that's crazy, bro. Like, it's just, yeah, trying to like truly I really hate that I got off of watching like those different documentaries and stuff like that on YouTube that went all the way back to like the beginning, the creation of the universe and how it's basically, and different things of that nature. But it's crazy, bro. Just trying to understand, like when you start trying to understand you and what's going on around you and what's happening, what's taking place. Yeah, it's just yeah, it just makes you wonder about that. Like, damn man, how far back does my DNA actually go?
That's some amazing thing to think about because like when you talk about the heavy metals within our body, they say they had to be created in the center of stars. So a literal star like our sun had to go through its whole life cycle and supernova and spread those heavy metals out into the universe so that our bodies could use them you know to be us. So
Yeah,
that's where your question of how far you go back, you could say you go back as far as you know this that star that you was probably in at one time.
yeah, yeah. That's crazy, man. That's like my sister. Me and her were talking, and like so she's got like real heavily into like astrology and stuff like that. And she was talking to me, and she was just like, people have been kind of shunning me and shutting me down because I'm all on this astrology thing and trying to understand it. And she's like, and it's all of these Christian folks that are telling me that that's evil and this and that. And she's like, how can astrology be evil when we are of the universe, and that's all astrology truly is.
Yeah.
It lets you know like the time you were born and those different things. It tells you like the different stars and the planets and this and that aligning at this certain time. And some she was explaining to me. I don't really know. Like I was
Yeah.
listening to it, bro.
Well, the cycles of the stars affect us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, the simplest thing to understand is the moon, right? Everybody knows. Like we talk about werewolves, we talk about, oh, is it a full moon? Like we be joking, like people are acting crazy, like, oh, is it a full moon? So we already inherently know that the way the celestial bodies move around affect us. Simple stuff too. The sun rising in the morning.
yeah,
It turns from dark to light. You know what I'm saying? It turns from
yeah,
cold to hot sometimes or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like this has a direct effect on us, our mood, our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our mind. I like to say universe is mind. So yeah, astrology is a real thing. You can't get lost in it because one of the things that I think people get lost in. Now, I'm not really deep in this because I used to know somebody who was really into it. There's a lot to learn in this,
yeah,
and I haven't gone that far down the road. But what I do understand about it is that how they be like one person is a Leo or another person is an Aquarius, and then they try to attribute these particular like you know uh ways that they're going to behave related to that. What people
Yeah.
don't understand about that is that all of the signs of the zodiac are in each one of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the full 12 or whatever. That's in each one of us. So like I'm a Libra, right? So, but you know, it means a little bit, but all of the other signs are in me too.
Yeah.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
You
I
there,
get
Pat?
what you're saying.
Cause I'm about to wrap it.
You
Okay.
had a question for me?
I was gonna say, you got any final thoughts? You want to explain the astrology stuff a little bit for Deuce?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess it really just depends on the person's belief in it, but um, just the alignment between the stars, the planets, like where you were born, like the day and times in which you were born, and based on where all of those the different positions of things supposed to have you in the same alignment with uh that whatever your
The celestial bodies and where they are in the sky at that time.
yeah
And it's got to have an impact on us. We know it does, because I had a book that was a really good book, and it would break down the day, the day you were born and the time you were born or whatever, like the day, year, time, month, year, day, and time, and then it had like paragraphs or whatever. It had, it would tell you about yourself, and it was
yeah
pretty fucking accurate,
I
pretty
like
fucking good.
yeah and I personally I like numerology, um which I think does a because everything is numbers. Like, I mean, just like how you're looking at your horoscope or you know whatever, those are tied in together to a certain extent. But numerology, I think, gives more of a detailed account based on your uh the numbers of your life, the things that you are connected to. And there's also another thing through the Aboriginal that I learned through the Aboriginal Republic is there's a something that goes back even further than um and is
Hello.
supposed to be more accurate. It's called cartomancy. Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, we lost some
Yeah,
cartomancy. I never.
cartomancy. Yeah, it's like the cards, like the playing cards, the
Oh, okay,
50
yeah, okay. When you get
the
your
50.
reading,
Well, you can get no, not the tarot cards.
not the
This
tarot
is
cards.
nah, this is like playing cards, like spades,
Hmm.
and you know you could look it up. Matter of fact, I'll share the book. I have a book of about cartomancy that I can share with you, that you can kind of look at it and kind of see where you would line up with it. So, and it's supposed to be more accurate than the whole horoscope stuff.
Take some pictures of like the cover of the book and maybe some interesting pages out of the book, and send them to me, and I'll use them in the show next week.
All right. Well, how about I send you the book and you can kind of pick how you want to
Yeah, I could
place
do
it.
that. What do you mean? Because it's a what is it? Electronic?
Yeah, it's an ebook.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be even better. Let me think of how the best way to send it to me. Is it a big file?
It's not huge, but I
You could
mean,
probably. You think you could text it? Text would be the best, but if you
yeah.
can't, if it's too large to text, send it to my email, and I'll just open up my email on the show. We'll do it like that, or I'll just copy and paste it into a Word document. We'll do it like that.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. I've been kind of in and out a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
it's time to wrap it, bro. It's 6 a.m. I work tomorrow, and I gotta wind down after these shows. I can't just lay down and go to sleep after I do these shows. I need a few minutes to
Yeah, and I'm on
cool
East
down.
Coast. It's 7 here.
Damn, damn. You got the sun is rising over there.
Yeah, pretty much. It will be soon.
That's crazy how we talk about time zones and time, and that's how you know time ain't really real. How the hell is 6 o'clock here and 7 o'clock over there? I'm just saying. I understand how it is, but you get what I'm saying. I understand. But I'm just saying, that's I always talk about time's not real. It's just a useful tool that we use. And we agree on it. It's kind of like red, like we all agree what red is, and we all agree what time it is. And
Yeah.
also the date too. That's one
Well,
thing, like the Matrix. Like
I
what
say,
date? I
I,
have you ever went down that rabbit hole? I went down the rabbit hole of what date is it actually? Like there's YouTube videos. You could type that in. What is the actual date or something like that? What year is it or something like that? And it'll take you down a whole ass rabbit hole.
oh yeah, no, I mean now years and all that kind of stuff. That I know that stuff can be manipulated, but time, since we do understand it to, or we perceive it to a certain extent, we've made it real. But we have to have that whole conversation about the prime meridian and stuff.
Yeah, because that explains the time zones and stuff. And then you talk about the equator, and you talk about because Deuce was just talking about astrology, so it's kind of related to that too with the wobble and the seasons. All that ties up into that shit. I saw some shit
Pyramids.
about 13. What about the number 13 related to the clock? I saw some shit where the clock was what related on 13, and it came from like the Moorish state numerology, some shit like that. I'm tired now. My brain is not barely
Yeah,
working, but
I don't know.
it,
I have to look into that more.
yeah, there's something with the number 13 related to the clock, and it's related to Moore's what math some kind of fucking way.
Yeah,
I
if you,
can't
I mean, you find
because
out anything about it.
I think that's how they made the clock. They made the clock from the Moors. I
I
don't
think
know.
that would have to be in connection to a lunar,
Right,
like,
because that makes sense though, right? Because that's what they did. They were Muslim. Um, they they um they um they follow the lunar cycles. That's what the Muslims do. The Arabic, the language, it all follows the lunar cycles.
well, yeah. I mean, because it's a 20. Like these days we go, some months are 30 days, some
That's
are
probably where the
31.
13 come from. Come to think of it, you probably right, because that makes sense. Because the moon cycle is different.
Yeah,
So
but I mean, honestly, it's really, I mean, it's different from what we follow, but
from the
it
solar
re-
one,
it makes more sense on, yeah, cosmically, because if
the
we
way the
follow
seasons,
the women's cycles,
right? It's like about
20
28 days.
28 days, and then it would equal to end up being like 13 different cycles throughout the
I
year.
need to learn more about that because that is super interesting to me. Because they said they had a more accurate calendar than the one that we have, a more accurate uh clock. Because we gotta adjust our time every fucking what is that shit? Daylight savings time or whatever the fuck. And
Do we
uh
do we have to?
I guess we don't have to, but
I
I
mean,
don't know.
if we're willing to look at the shorter days of the year and like, cause I mean, like the solstices, like a lot of that stuff,
Wait, it's
it
leap year.
matters.
That's the one. The leap year is the one, right? So it builds up over those 4 years. That miscalculation. I think that's what
Yes.
I'm thinking of. Yeah, so
Yeah,
the lunar cycle, if it followed the lunar cycle, then we wouldn't end up with a leap year. Is that right?
I think that's yeah. I believe so. But that's one of like
Because we're
I
talking about time, and then it just builds up being, like I said, I think that they had a more accurate one, and ours is good, but it's a little bit off, and that's how we end up with the fucking leap year,
yeah.
and end up with the February having extra days in it. Is it February?
No, February actually has the amount of days that we should have.
It's 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'm tired. My brain is fried. All right, man. Peace and love. Thank y'all for joining. We're at 3 hours and 24 minutes. I'm gonna make some good clips this week out of these shows for sure. So you guys check me out on Anchor, Apple, or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Other than that, man,
Yeah,
like,
man. Till next time,
yep. I think it was a pretty okay show. All praises due to the Most High.
all praises to Allah.
We still here. We made it, and all praises due to our ancestors too, because they
Amen.
struggled and strived to stay alive, and their sacrifices are why we're here.
Amen.
All right, man. Have a good one. I guess I ain't gonna come on till next week.
For
What
sure.
you What you doing tomorrow? Cause I'm thinking about
Um,
doing a show.
shit. If we could do it early, that would be good because I mean,
It would
I'm just
definitely be early. I got shit to do Monday
yeah,
morning, so I don't
yeah.
know if I'm gonna do
That's
it
that's
at
that's the
all
only thing.
because
That's
I
I
got
mean,
shit to
yeah.
do.
Just let me know. I mean, cause we can come on for a little bit if you want, but yeah. I mean, that's my thing. I got. I mean, the beginning of the week, like I realized like a lot of times like lately, like I've been missing Wednesday because like the week has passed so fast that I don't even realize that it's Wednesday, and then
Yeah,
I might look at I was like, oh man, there's no way I can make it through this damn thing, and like
yeah.
yeah,
It's all
so.
good. The Wednesday one is the one that makes me tired too because I'm always busy. That's the Wednesday and the Thursday one.
Yeah. Well, well, I guess
Those two are hard to do.
once I have it in my mind, once I realize, like, throughout the day, and I've set my mind to, like, okay, yeah, today is such and such, because, like I said, Wednesday, like, it comes so fast. But I mean, if you
It
don't,
does.
I mean, we do it more days than, like, there's 4 days we doing it,
Right.
Wednesday,
It's only
Thursday,
seven.
so
It's only seven in the week.
yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like we're actually on more days than we're not, and
Yeah. Wednesday comes
it
back
passed
around
so
real
fast.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I agree. Well, till Wednesday, hopefully you get your rest up, and maybe we could talk about that because I don't know
yeah,
anything about that. What you said? Say that word again. Caricature. I'm saying caricature, but that's not what you said.
cartomancy.
Cartomancy. See,
C A.
Mancy means death or decrepit or something, right? That word means,
Mm,
what is Mancy? Mancy. I always break words down. My brain always does that. I'm thinking necromancy. That's necro means death, and so mancy means
study,
study. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what it is.
but but yeah, but I mean, look. I'll send you. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up in a minute. But still, it's Cartomancy.
Okay.
Cartomancy. So you might
Nah,
be able to
I
find
ain't
some
never
stuff
heard
on.
that. I ain't never heard that before. So yeah,
Okay,
but that's good though, man. I like to learn, so I'm interested in that.
for sure.
All right, man.
All right,
Get you
bro.
some rest,
Sure
and,
enough.
and, and you sound a lot better.
Thanks. I I I feel better. I feel a lot better. But I don't know. Sometimes
right.
I still kind of feel I'll kind of get kind of dozy. So I don't know if it's those those effects that's kind of slips in and out or whatever. But
It's all
I,
good, man. It's
yeah,
all good. Thank you for being here.
sure enough, bro.
All right, man. Have a good one. Peace and
Yeah.
love.
Peace.
Peace. All right.
Dime qué tú quieres, papi.
What are you thinking about? Rolling a blunt? Taking a pee break? What are you doing? Done, son.